Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to play the kid at the back again. I'm still sick while I'm recording this, so bear with me. My voice sounds weird. Let's begin. Note, this game is in development and incomplete. If you have errors to report, please feel free to send it here. This game includes expective and dark themes such as death, murder, and assault, applied abuse, and other themes that may be sensitive to some audiences. You may see the full list of warnings here on the game's main menu or on the game's main menu. By agreeing to these terms, you are hereby allowing yourself to indulge with the game with full understanding that they are able to differentiate between fiction and reality. Are you sure you would like to proceed? Yes. It was many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. Day 1, the beloved. And class dismissed. By our next meeting, I need a full report on everyone's poem that they have chosen. I will not accept one paragraph. I need 2 whole pages filled with words. Everyone got that? Yeah, just words? Okay, I got that. Does it have to be double space or no space at all? God makes it harder if it's no space at all. The classroom broke into a series of "Yes, Professor," while some spared no time in packing their things, eager to be dismissed, and disregarding the teacher altogether. Your literature teacher packs up her own things and exits the classroom. The moment your literature teacher left, the classroom broke into small groups as each student geared up to meet their respective cliques. Some engage in conversation, while some spared no time in exiting the classroom. It's kind of redundant because I'm already left. A yawn escaped your lips. You turned your head and observed the clouds outside. The clouds are shaded in a dark gray. The sky, once blue, is now turning the same lighter shade of gray. The looming threat of rain made you click your tongue in irritation. And my luck, just my luck, I didn't bother to bring an umbrella too. Standing up from your seat, you were about to grab your bag when you felt a tap on your shoulder. You turned around and came face to face with a cobalt blue eyes. Her blonde hair shaped like swirls, with its ends dyed with blue and pink. Accompanying her entire ensemble, even if it's just a white button-up of a clearly looks too small for her. Her hot pink jacket tied around her wrist and the skull's black skirt. Her hand, which you assume was the same one that tapped your shoulder, hung up in the air. She seemed unsure whether to continue or not, judging from the way her eyebrows furrowed downward while biting her glossed lower lip. She turned slightly, her head not fixed on you, but rare on whoever is behind you. You heard her whisper something under her breath, before eventually composing herself and turning her focus solely on you now. Hey, you're going to lunch with us, right? I mean, you should. I don't usually see you in the cafeteria often, so you must not be eating properly. How can you keep up with classes looking like that? Brittany, just because I'm small doesn't mean anything. Excuse me? And yes, I am small. You look a step back, clutching your strap of the bag as you glare at the blonde woman before you. actually had an old woman that was actually skinnier than me ask me if I even ate. They understand metabolism. Yeah, if you want my help out, don't bother if you're gonna assault me. While I was working. To put your groceries in. If you're gonna keep stalling me. Who was this woman? Who does she think she is? Judging from the woman's expression, she finally came to realize that the words that came out of her mouth. Brittany. A familiar voice interrupted the two of you. You turned your head to where the voice was, and there stood no other than your old friend. That's really insensitive of you. Imagine if someone else told you about how you look. His 4 orbs of ozone blue, nearly replicating Rapper's Azurius, and his chocolate brown hair tied loosely in a low braid. Sun-kissed skin, attached with his handsome features, adored with black, long-sleeve button-up, and an indigo vest to add to his clean look. He's known as Joshua Ichiba. Crow for short. The class representative and a close friend of yours. Yeah, I could say his last name more so because of a certain story about a headless salesman. Well, the one only close friend you have. Crow made his way to your side. With a hand on his hip, he recognized the blonde-haired woman next to you, and the said woman just shrugged her shoulders. He placed a hand over your beating heart. Your close pressing between you two caused a blush to appear on your cheeks. No matter how many times you get close to him, or him getting near you, you never get used to it. His whole aura just gives a warm feeling in you, the butterflies in your stomach flashing and raging, begging to be released. Yeah, you may have a bit of crush on him. The woman named Brittany just rolled her eyes, seemingly used to Crow's reprimands. Well, you're the one insisting on me issuing talk. You should have done it more nicely now. Like a simple invite alone? Crow gives you a small smile while handing out something to you. You looked down to see it. It's your ID. You dropped this, by the way. Your name. Digital wave. Can't say the E, but the E's are always silent, so still the same name. Stark. Because a friend thought my last name was Stark. The ID shows your name, Digital Wave Stark, along with my pronouns. She, her. You look at your own ID picture and see yourself more. Them. Use feminine terms and will be called girl, woman. You look at your ID picture, seeing a young woman and reading your own name with your eyes. Digital Wave Stark. Pronouns she, her. Yes. Your fingers briefly brushed against his. You bit your lip, then muttered a small thank you before pocketing your school ID. Crow gives you a close-eyed smile, returning his own thank you, then turning his attention back towards Brittany. Following up behind Brittany are 3 more people. The tallest one of the 3 is a sporty-looking man, clad in green and yellow jersey with the number 10 sealed in front. His eyes are bright green. The color of that kind reminds you of a green apples. His skin, beautiful brown and nearly matching his curly hair, with a stubble is nestled on his chin, indicating his maturity. The second tallest is a man with a purple hoodie. His eyes are sharp and slanted, with long eyelashes, adored with a teal orbs underneath. I just love Geo's design. His eyes slight, his hair straight, and styled with a hime cut, save for the short strand tied with a red ribbon, and a low ponytail bound with the same shade of red behind him. He looks uninterested with what is going on around at the very moment. And the last but not least is the shortest of the three, maybe with the group as well. Her skin pale, her face dotted with a few freckles. Then and there, a rectangular-shaped frames shield away orange orbs. Her hair is short, loose, with like waves. She wears a black button-up under a orange vest, and a black skirt matching Brittany's. Damn, Britt, you sure are bad at socializing. Hey, Gio, seems like you have a competition. For sure, Gio has doesn't have foot and mouth disorder. The tall jock, clad in yellow and green sports jersey, lets out a loud laugh, causing some students to turn to look at him. Bernie's face grew red from embarrassment. Gritting her teeth, she crossed her arms around tapping her foot on the ground. The only made the jock laugh even harder. Shut the hell up, Daryl. You're causing a scene. As if you were me, you would have done just as badly. That is in fact not true. I'm a lovable guy. Oh yeah? As the two argue, you turn your head towards the other tall male in the hoodie. I just love his design because I love purple. Sensing your gaze, he looks down at you, his hand still in his hoodie pocket. A sudden chill went down your spine. You quickly avert your gaze from him and from the opposing male and land on the meek girl in orange right beside Brittany. She hasn't spoken since she arrived with the two males, but judging from how attached she is to Brittany, you're guessing she's closer to her than the rest of the group. She kind of reminds me of yourself. She kind of reminds you of yourself when you were still new to the school with no one to talk to. Not until Crow befriended you, of course. Well, you were cringy. Were you as cringy to Crow back then as she is with Brittany now? Sorry, that they're kind of a rowdy bunch, huh? I hope you're not too overwhelmed. They sure are something. Look, Digital Wave. You still free not to join us for lunch if you're uncomfortable. Meeting new people is overwhelming. I just want to let you know that I respect your feelings and that you matter, Digital Wave. Crow assures you with a worried smile on his lips. You turn back to the group. The tall jock, named Daryl, now bothering Gio with an arm around his shoulder. The visible irritation on Gio's face did nothing to sway Daryl's happy-go-lucky personality. I think I'm gonna do Crow again, just to do his good end. Brittany, wait, I'm gonna do Souls first this time. Brittany leans on one of the desk with her arms crossed, sticking a conversation with the bisexual girl next to her. What's her name? I didn't catch it last time. Crow glanced at where you were pointing at. Oh, Jessie? You can call her Jess for short. She's best friends with Brittany. She's kind of reminds me of you back when we first met. All shy and quiet. Only that you're cuter. Crow pinches your cheeks playfully, and you groan, but you mock annoyance and betrayal by the small smile that formed on your lips. How time flies, huh? That's right, you got yourself acquainted with Crow in your sophomore year. Before you left for the city, your father emphasized on the importance of having companions and establishing friendships, most especially in this college. Olympia's University, the largest university in Titan City, is known for having the best facilities and the best education, where you're guaranteed to rise from the bottom to the top. Well, that's what the advertisement tells you. You try getting to know people during the first year, but to no avail. No matter how much you try to make friends, you just couldn't seem to bring yourself to talk to anyone. And to your dismay, no one seems to bother to even befriend you. Yeah, this is a sucky college. I made friends the first year. Sure, you would talk with a few classmates for projects, but nothing goes beyond that. And as if they scared of you. More like disgusted, you can't even tell. The looks that you receive from have all been mixed signals, some bad, some out pity. That is until Crow came into the picture. Among everyone, Crow was the sole person who approached you with a tint of friendship. You were wary of him at first. Why would someone want to befriend you out of nowhere? Your past expression caused you suspicion. You had a history with people who tried to earn your good graces because you were somehow beneficial to them. I took a pride in Crow. You thought Crow would be the same cause, so you ignored him. Same case, so you ignored him. But then he kept following you, trying to strike a conversation with you every now and then. Actually, wait, no. I'll think of it. You tried to dismiss him, ignoring his presence as usual, but Crow was determined to break down your walls and keep insisting on tagging along until it annoyed you once. Just once. That is until it happened the last day of your first semester in your sophomore year. You fell victim to one of the school's biggest hidden flaws. If Crow wasn't there to stop them, you wouldn't have begun to imagine what might have happened to you. Thank goodness you're unharmed. You're concerned about me? How about you? You're the one who's hurt. Thinking back, you thought he was crazy and stupid. Taking blow after blow until the perpetrators got bored and left the both of you. Well, what's the whole point? That's the whole point, right? As long as you're not hurt, this is nothing. You're crazy, you know that? He just laughs it off, wincing due to the bruises on his face. I never got your name, crazy person. It's Joshua Ichabod. But you can call me Crow. Nice to meet you, Crow. I'm Digital Wave. You brought him to the clinic that day and became inseparable ever since. Right after the incident, Crow promised to never fight again, and continues to keep his word on it. You really owed it to him. You look back at Crow. He tilts his head. Something on your mind, Digital Wave? Nothing, just happy that you're my friend. He looks at you with raised eyebrows, probably surprised at how random your thoughts seem. He didn't say anything as he let your words sink in. As usual, gentle smile appeared on his face. Crow inched closer to you, indicating that he feels the same way. Bree must have taken notice of the amount of time wasted on talking and arguing as she turns to you one last time. We've talked a little too much. We'll end up not getting any seats if we keep this up. So, are you coming with us or not? Caught up in your little daydream about the past, Brittany finally spoke up, catching your attention. You look up at Crow, recalling his words. Don't force yourself to join. If you're still uncomfortable. You decide to. Okay, so go with them, go to the library, or go somewhere else. I am going to... I guess it'd be easier to read the same thing if I don't read the same thing. But I want to see how his good ending changed to... Oh, I'm gonna go for the library. I'll head to the library today. With a hand on her hip, Brittany stares at you, as if waiting for you to change your mind. Seeing that your decision is set, she loosens a sigh. Brittany wordlessly turns on her heel, and walks out of the classroom, the rest of her friends following behind her. Crow, however, stayed in the exact same spot right next to you. Noticing this, Geo, the one in hoodie, stops. Crow? Huh? Oh, I'll be right there. Crow pauses shortly to sneak a look at you before walking towards Geo. His movement slow and hesitant to leave your side. Although Crow did not give you a farewell glance before reaching his friend, it was Geo who glared at you over his shoulder. His gaze was intimidating, intense. It reminded you of the way predators look at their prey. I think I got Geo mad. Sorry, Geo. You felt your heart stop beating for a moment. Confused by his apparent stillness, Crow was about to question his blue-haired companion, but Geo waved his hand dismissively. Before Crow could notice anything, Geo breaks his gaze away from yours and ushers his friend out of the classroom. You let a breath you didn't know you were holding. What was that about? He gave me nothing but short glances and glares since I met him. Maybe I'm not suited to be part of their group. You shake away the negative thoughts tempting to plague your mind. Returning to your original plan, you pack up your things and proceed to head out. Next stop, the library. The rowdy hallways buzz with noise as sweaty and tired students made their way to their respective classes, some presumably heading to the cafeteria for a break. Several were headed to the same direction as you were walking. With the library door within your reach, a smile etched in your face. Actually, I thought that I recorded this, so this is actually recorded after I made the video, and I realized this part was apparently just gone until, because I've been doing it in segments. You open the doors, immediately greeted by the familiar scent of coffee and library books. You've always been awed by your university's fancy facilities. In fact, the library surprisingly operates in a small cafe, as serving coffee to the students who needs it early in the morning until afternoon. It's a huge hit amongst everyone, and you understand why. Caffeine is a fuel to a college student's early soul. Yeah, be off your coffee or energy drinks, or tea. The aroma of coffee somehow lightens your mood. Anticipating a short moment of peace within the library, you make your way towards your usual seat by the large window near the cafe section. Your mood dropped when you spot a unfamiliar face occurring occupying the chair you come to favor. You groan. Just great. What should I do about this? So I'm gonna find somewhere else to sit this time, because this will be the second CG. You didn't want to deal with the stranger or anyone at that very moment. Even if you want to sit back. Look around, you make up your mind to settle somewhere else, preferably far away from the presence of others. To your utter demise, the only vacant seat left was next to the table full of loudy gossiping students. You swear, out of all the places to do idle and loud chatter, it had to be the library. You don't feel like doing your research paper anymore. Heading to the fiction section of the library, you examine each book spine, running your fingers along them, hoping that one would catch your attention. However, not a single one caught your eye among the many books you passed by. Instead, you only gathered dust on your fingertips. You clicked your tongue and rubbed your fingers together, dusting them off. Thud. A sudden thump came from the opposite side of the shelf before you, causing a wobble a bit, nearly knocking a few books down. Another thump. But this one was louder and stronger than the last. A few books toppled over next to you and nearly hit your head. Hey, watch it! You raised your voice. Silence. Then you hear a few shuffling noises behind the shelf in front of you. You let out your irritated puff, taking a few books that fell on your ground. You proceed to place them back on the original positions on the shelves. But as you were filled up the gap, something rare, someone caught your attention. Through a small crack between the books, you spy a male student with hair dyed in red and spiked up hair, donned with a leather jacket, ripped jeans, his facial piercings, chanting his intimidating look. Behind him, another student, guy dressed in nearly similar fashion. The only difference is his hair black as night, with blue highlights, a white tank top, instead of a leather jacket, and a dog tag dangling from his neck. The two unfamiliar students sneered down on someone you assumed they pushed to the ground. So that's where the thumping sound came from. Don't make too much noise there, Mr. Creep McGee. You don't want to get us in trouble, do you? Great, another bullying situation. You roll your eyes in annoyance. These boys never know when to stop, do they? Sometimes people never seem to grow out of their high school phase. The poor fellow remained still, up, sitting on the ground, his back leaning against the bookshelf, trying to desperate to hold his ground. He muttered something under his breath. What was that? I couldn't quite hear you. The red-haired bully mocked. His hand brushed against his ear as he leans closer to the man on the floor, while his raven-haired companion laughs at his friend's antics. I said, screw off. Just why, you little... You cringe at the sound of flesh hitting flesh, causing you to pull back. You got some nerve coming here and showing your face, punk. No matter, you're nothing but fresh meat. And, yeah, he looks disgusting. I bet he's liking this. Why would he? After all, you asked for this, didn't you? Sick freak. This is getting bad. I should leave, or else I'll be next. You grit your teeth, eyes squinting. You don't want to look at this anymore. But before you could shove a book to cover up the remaining gap, something glistering caught your eye. Your blood ran cold as the weapon, now within the fiercely fiery red hair's hand. Yo, how did you get that in the campus? Shep, who cares? It's a pocket knife. Let's see if you continue being smart, but once I cut your mouth. Okay, that's how it happened. I gotta do something. But should I risk being caught in between all this? Stop them. I gotta stop them. Leaving the remaining books, you quickly rush out of your aisle and went across from the boys were. Stop! You let out a loud cry. From the cry of your voice, the boys halt in their movements. Their heads slowly turn towards you. Your attention, however, was on the fallen male on the ground. His face battered and bruised, he struggled to keep his composure. He looks up at you. Your eyes meet with the reddish-orange ones. As soon as he registered who you were, however, his expression turned from mid-irritation to shock. He scuffles on the ground in hurry as he tries to get up, but the raven-haired boy must have noticed this and kicked his stomach, causing him to double over and clench his abdomen. What do you want, Pipsqueak? Can you see we're busy here? The tall red-haired boy clicks his tongue. You could see his veins bulging from his forehead in irritation from your interruption. Staying up, he walked over to where you were, pocket knife still in his hand. Stop. What are you doing right now? Stop what you're doing right now. Oh yeah? And what are you going to do about it? If you hurt him, I'm screaming and alert everyone in the library. The red-haired head just let out a mocking laugh, unfazed by your threat. He looms over you, his attention now focused on you, leaving the other male on the ground. Stop. Don't go anywhere near her. You're here for me, right? Just leave her alone. Shut the hell up. The raven-haired landed one more kick on the student's ingrained stomach. Taking advantage of his weak state, the boy clad in blue, steps on the boy on the ground's back. Stop that! Whoa, hold it right there, sweetheart. We're not done here. The boy in red, before he suddenly wraps his arm around your lower back, then proceeds to bring his face closer to your own. With his free hand, he forcefully grabs your chin and jerks your head towards his. You hiss from the force of his impact on your jaw. Let me go, you butthole. You move your face away. His hot breath fanning your cheeks as you try your best to pull away from him. The red head scans your face, growling a sinister smirk forming on his lips. Not gonna lie, you look kinda pretty. No wonder that freak has the hots for you. He turns around and gives a quick glance at the person on the ground. He just chuckles at the dark glare given to him. I bet your little boyfriend wouldn't mind a taste. Before you could register what he said, you felt a stinging sensation across your cheek, following something wet roll down your cheek. I think these guys are gonna die. Later tonight, they're gonna be like dead. The sensation of the bully's tongue running across your cheek made you shiver in pure disgust. You could feel tears slowly forming in the corners of your eyes. The redhead, however, did not share your sentiments. His eyes rolled back in pure ecstasy. A little moan escaping his mouth, making you want to throw up. Just for looking at me. Sorry, you got some problems. I think you're the freak. Take advantage of his blissful state. With all your might, you kick him between his legs. Where does the sun does it shine? Yes, I am. Only to buttholes. You push him away from you with all your might and give him one last kick on his back, causing him to fall and land on one of the bookshelves, multiple books falling on him, a thick encyclopedia landing on his head, causing him to pass out. Take that, you asshole, butthole. However, your old victory was short-lived as you felt an arm make its way around your throat, proceeding to block your windpipe. You're a naughty one, aren't you? Why don't I teach you a lesson? I'm pretty sure you're gonna get beaten up by Yandere. Let go of me. You caught the blue bully's arm around you. You called, trying to desperate for him to release you as you slowly lose air in your lungs. Your vision slowly begins to dark. I can't breathe. Someone help. The arm around your throat loosens. Your dizzy state causes you to lose your balance. You stay your breathing while rubbing your throat, trying to ease the pain. It went just through. The two boys' bodies are now on the ground, all passed out, and all that was left is a pair of black shoes before you. Looking up, it was the same guy in green. The bruise on his face is still visible. He didn't say anything. Hand on his handing out his hand. Accepting you a small thank you, and he pulls you back to your feet. Now that everything seems to settle down, you finally get to look at him closely. He's actually pretty tall, probably around 6 foot tall. His hair deep green, nearly black, with green streaks pulled in half. His eyes dart around the area, then back at you, then back on the random corner. The awkward minute passed. We should probably get you to the nurse. I'm fine. There's no need. Meanwhile, you should get your cheek bandaged. He lifted his hand, seemingly trying to cup your cheek, but stopping himself midway, quickly tucking it behind his back and walking past you in a hurry. Your eyes tell after him as he quickly made it what seemed to be your usual spot. After fixing his stings, then setting off the exit, not barring to glance back one last time. So I'm trying to edit for this so I could get every single thing for the gallery. So let me show you what we have. So actually no, I can't, because I'm gonna edit this. Barely making it to your next class, you slide the classroom door open, airing you a few looks from the students inside the room. Turning to the podium, you exhale a breath you didn't realize you were holding when you realized that your teacher was still absent. Fixing your composure, you scan the room, a few easels and shelves filled with brushes and bottles stained with acrylic paint, guaranteed that you made it to the right class. You make your way to your seat. Once all down, you groan, placing your elbows on the desk and resting your chin on top of your hands, waiting patiently for your professor's arrival. And never seem to take note of the understatement. You realize that there were a lot of familiar faces in today's class. You were guessing they were either transferred to the class or just one to cut their original classes and would slack off in a different subject. I don't know if that was impossible. And that was not in the original part I read. Not that you care anyway. You only have this class due to the fact that it's acquired for some strange reason. The school's curriculum is weird. I think a lot of school's curriculum is weird. While you're scanning around the room, however, you spot a familiar mob of black hair seated in the very end of the classroom. Oh, because when I did the crow's route first, I didn't see the familiar familiarity too, so then your eyes went wide. You swore your eyes met for a split second. Isn't that the same guy back in the library? You thought, seeing the bandage on his face, where the bruise was kind of resembling yours. The gaze lingered on his form before the door to the classroom let out a squeak, indicating your professor's arrival, making you leave your thoughts on the man at the back and redirecting your focus at the front. I still have questions to ask him later. Hearing the classroom door open, your art teacher makes his way inside, his large, round belly standing out, a round spectacles sitting on top of his nose, and a stereotypical brown beret on his head. He greets the class before starting his lecture. An art exhibit project featuring various areas of art as part of our thesis. This time we're tasked with expressionism. Remember, this is all part of your paper, not to mention making a name for yourself, of course. You have to write a paper for art? No art history? Ooh. More like taking the credit of the student's work and using it to advertise your crappy school. You scoff at the thought. You all got your partner already this time. For this term, I'm tasked you all to create 3 works based on the exhibit's theme. This is where you want to throw your desk out the window. How could you forget? You weren't present during the previous meeting, and you absolutely knew no one in the specific class. Other than our Yandere. Why were you taking art again? Oh right, your father was the artist, as he was a farmer. Did he do his own crop circles? It was all for him, and maybe you can make a name for yourself with your works if ever your life as a gardener wouldn't turn out the way it should. All part of Plan B, and if that fails, I got Plan C and D. I have yet to make up the rest. Or guess I'll die. You shake away your silly thoughts. The problem is now at hand. You do not have a partner to work with. Now I want all of you to go to your chosen partner for this project so I can start explaining your task. Eventually, you are focused on forced out of your seat, since your seatmate's partner will be occupying it for the class. You curse at yourself. You could only hope you're not the only student who did not get their own partner for the class. Upon looking around, it seems like everyone is calm and collected, but you're the only one panicking here. Unlike the rest of the class scurrying around to meet their partner, you were the only fool who was standing still. Not a note on the only one standing, because the corner of the classroom there is a single student not bothering to stand up from their seat. Their seatmate had left to pair with someone else, leaving a vacant spot. Is he not going to bother with his partner? Unless he... Hey, wait, that dude. Hey there. He looks from his desk and looks at your approaching form before you eventually stand next to him. It's you. Seems like you're a bit lost there. Do you have a partner? No. Oh, just your luck then. Me neither. So, do you want to be partners? Sure, why not? You took the vacant seat right besides him. His book now tucked away, and on the desk his desk is now a pen and a piece of paper, suddenly ready to take notes. Hey, I never got to know your name. It's not porn. Well, I should at least know what to call you instead of Green Streak Guy. He raised his brow at your silly nickname you gave him before slightly shaking his head. Sullivan Burger Massia. But just call me Soul. Soul. Soul means sun or brightness, right? Soul nods, rubbing the back of his head. You can say that. My mother gave me that name. It's a lovely name. Thanks. Well, I'm Digital Wave Stark. Nice to finally know your name, Soul. Soul nods with a smile forming on his lips, then returning his attention back to the professor. For your artworks to showcase, no, it has to be some form of expressionism. Mediums will be strictly traditional. The professor then proceeds to give other pointers for your project before leaving you and the rest of the class for the day. Just walked right out of the classroom. Later, you guys are on your own. Everyone in the class proceeds to talk with their partners, already brainstorming ideas on what they're going to showcase, and hopefully could get a higher grade. You turn to Soul as he took out his own charcoal pencil and sketch pad for the class. You got any plans for the first display, Soul? Expressionism is about covering one's feelings, right? The easiest for now is a portrait. Let's see. Let's see your face, for example. My face? He lets out a low chuckle. There, you're making a cute expression right now. That'd be considered expressionism. Huh. But I have a bandage on my face. Wouldn't that hinder the process? You recall the events that happened back in the library. I could simply ignore it. Or make something better of it. Trust the process. He seems like he already has an idea on what to do. And judging from the half-filled sketchbook of his, he's quite familiar with the concept of art. Me, however, am not that good at art. I'm not that confident in my art skills yet. Is that okay? I don't want you to do all the work. Everyone starts somewhere. As long as you help me well appreciate the concept of art, you'll be fine. You'll do fine. Soul said relaxing on his seat and taking out his sketch pad and pencil. I still want to say sketchbook. You sit back and relax a bit. Relax as well, tucking a loose strand and fixing your hair as if you were about to take a picture. Soul noticed this, and you swear you saw the edges of his face twitch upward. The sound of pencil against paper filled the classroom, and you on your seat as Soul looks up at you and back on the paper from time to time. Whenever he gazes at you, you swear his eyes go half-lidded, as if in a dreamy gaze. But you didn't think much about it. It's like, I'm close to my crush. Thank you. What was that? Soul stopped his strokes on the paper and finally looks back, locked a gaze on you. His sketchpad covering half of his face as he speaks. Thank you, Digital Wave, for helping me back in the library. Oh, it's not a problem. You were in quite a pickle, and no one bothered to help you out. I don't know what I'll do if I didn't save you there. Well, you saved me the trouble today. After that, Soul said nothing. His gaze remains on you before continuing on. A small tint of pink appeared on the tips of his ears. While using his sketchbook, he tries to cover his bruised face behind the object. Small conversations were made then and there as he worked with the pencil. Well, you kept the air afloat. Sorry I wasn't able to make it in time. You started, and Soul's eyes got wide at you before shaking his head. Don't worry about it. This type of thing is usual for me. The usual for you? He sighed, as if the thought alone is such a huge task on his hands while he continues on. Every bruise is worth it. Soul then mumbled something under his breath, the grip on his pencil tightening. In the grip before sighing and looking up at you. And that was enough to calm him down and continue on the sketch, leaving you dumbfounded. Before he knew it, class was over. Soul, however, is not done with his portrait of you, as his pencil still makes a few more final touches on his sketchpad. Just a few more touches. There. Can I see? Of course. Soul hands you his sketches to you, and you gasp. This looks so good. The details are everything. And he's not even done yet. So this looks amazing. How did you do this? By your compliment. He just rubbed the back of his neck and shrugged a little. A bit embarrassed at your compliment. I'd love to sketch once in a while. I often draw random people in the parks where I go out. You couldn't help but admire him and his work. Though I'd like to revise this if given more time. Can I keep this? I mean, right after our professor grades it, of course. Soul places a hand on his chin, thinking about it. I'm not sure. I think I could do better than this one. But I really like this one. He just chuckles. Alright, you can have it. Once I'm done with it, and our professor grades it. But in return, I get to keep the portrait you made of me, alright? I think that's a fair deal. Soul agreed, and you cheered. He gave back his sketchpad and fixed your things. Soul packed up as well, and you both headed out towards the hallway. Do you have a phone? We could just change numbers and update her, so we could do the next two more projects. Next two projects, we could just put no more. More is it redundant. Sol then takes out his own phone and asks for your number. You recite it out as he inputted it on his phone. Let me try to send you a text and send you a message. You nod and look at your phone screen and saw a new notification from an unknown number. This must be Sol's. Sup? You type so differently from how you look. From the corner of your eye, you see Sol's eyebrow raise at your text. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. You chuckle and he rolls his eyes. His stare lingers on Sol's face. A smile is embellished in his handsome features while he looks at the block of text on his phone. He bit the bottom of your lip and recalled the events that happened today, formally meeting Crow's group and the events that occurred in the library, and especially meeting Sol. Back then, you struggled to form friends throughout college, that you were convinced that you would be graduating without making a single connection, which would undoubtedly disappoint your father, and you were ready for it. You thought to yourself, these are odd people, eccentrics at most. All misunderstood people, all human, all the same. A sudden wave of determination washes over you. With a hand on your chest, you stare into Sol's orbs, making him tilt his head slightly. Sol, I want to be friends with you. I can sense the people tend to misunderstand you and overall personality. Sol is quiet. His gaze remains on you with a lingering curiosity. But what's me be different? I want to know you. I want to understand you, Sol. If you let me. He blinks once, then twice, then a chuckle. He puts his large hand on top of your head, then ruffles your hair. All right then, let's mark today as as the start of a wonderful friendship, Digital Stark. He playfully pushes his hand off your head and nudges him on the shoulder. He lets out a small laugh at your poor attempt. As to you, too, Sylvan Miashia. Just so is fine, Digital Wave. Well, I need to get going. See you tomorrow? Huh? Oh, of course. See you tomorrow, Digital Wave. Giving Sol a wave goodbye, you make your way towards the skull's exit. Hee hee. Here's our Yandere part. My darling. My sweet darling Digital Wave. See you later, pumpkin. As you walk through the hallway, your eyes caught on something on the nearby bulletin board. A poster was plastered on the large board. The Hallows Ball. Come enjoy the festive spirit of Hallows Eve. A Halloween party? Huh. Seems promising. A sudden small vibration came from your pocket. Curious, you took out your phone, expecting some message from Sol. It was from Crow. Your heart leaped from your chest, recalling events that happened earlier this afternoon. Can you meet me after class? I'll be in the front gate. You didn't send a reply. Turning off your phone, you quickly make haste to the exit. You approach the school's gate, keeping an eye out for your friend. And we're doing this now again. Sure enough, there stood Crow in all his glory, posture straight and his arms held high behind his back. His bag neatly placed on the floor and his foot tapping on the concrete floor nervously. You yourself were growling nervously with each step as you grew closer and closer to him. When you reached his side and made your presence known with a small greeting, you noticed the way Crow's eyebrows raised in mid-surprise, as if not expecting you to actually show up before him. He cleared his throat before composing himself properly, his body now facing in your direction. You want to see me? Yes, Lifting his bag from the floor, he slings a strap over his shoulder and offers his hand to you to take. I'd like to take you somewhere. It's a bit near the park. I'll lead you if you let me. Take his hand. You take his hand, and in return, Crow wraps his fingers around yours. His nervous smile melts in a genuine and happier one before he leads you both of you away from the Skull's Gate and into the streets. Sorry, Crow, I'm not going to. By the time you and Crow made it to the park, it was already sundown, and the stars suddenly started painting the sky. Is this the place you were trying to lead me to, Crow? Not quite yet. Come here. You follow him through the thicket of thick bushes, surprised to see the stony stars. Though a bit run down, it seemed sturdy to step on. Still seems sturdy to step on. Looking up, you see it leads somewhere above. You and Crow make your way to the stony up the stony stairs. Some red and orange leaves coloring the steps as you and him avoid a few puddles from the rain this morning. We're here. Come. It's a sight to behold. Taking one last step, you and Crow admire whatever was beyond him. His smile brightened as his eyes twinkle like stars above. Your eyes went wide in awe upon seeing the scenery before you, replicating the one Crow has on his face. Not once did you take the consideration that the idea of sightseeing within the city. Everything felt familiar, intimating even. Like, I definitely know what I can't do, or he's gonna go. Ugh. You couldn't blame yourself for feeling so distressed about the idea of traveling, especially since you had no one within the city to guide you. But gazing at the sea of lights that stretched out before you made you realize that you had been missing much of what the city has offered. Looking further ahead, you notice a small tower decorated with bright neon peak lights. A little bit to its right, a movie theater next to the mall. The rows of other buildings with multicolored lights seem endless. I was like, I can't see them all. The movie theater. The more you scan the area, the more you see unfamiliar places that you didn't know existed. Your moment of silence was while admiring the city view was interrupted by the sound of rustling glass. You turn around, finding the source of the sound. Crow had made himself comfortable laying on the ground under the tree. You see his backpack laying on the trunk. You turn your back from the city and walk to where Crow lay, designed to keep him company. His gaze on the starry sky shifts to you, and you sit down beside him, and a hopeful smile grows on his face. Judging from your face all lighting up, you like this place, huh? Can you care to join me? Accepting his invitation, you give Crow a light nod that brought joy to his eyes. You stretch a bit and lay on your back right next to him, your fingers barely touching. You and Crow look at the night sky. You observe how the stars twinkle as if the rain from the morning never happened. How did you manage to find this place? You tilt your head to look at him, and he gives you a closed-eyed chuckle before his tinkling gaze meets yours. I take it that you never heard of Lily's myth, have you, Digitwave? Lily's myth? Crow points up at the old tree that stood above you, returns his gaze to the stars. They say that the tree that the humans came in contact with was blessed by the gods that guard this land. This very same tree used to bear multiple fruits. They say that they never rot and are free for anyone to take. Or so what the popular interpretation says anyway. There are other versions of the myth? Crow shrugs his shoulders, moving his gaze from the sky back to the tree. He stares at it as if trying to decipher something just by the mere look of it. There are other versions, yes. Some say the fruits are actually poisonous. Others say they only meant for gods and no humans must take from it. At least, they be cursed. That seems quite gruesome. It's no wonder they would rather use the lighter version of the myth. Crow lets out a low chuckle at your statement, churning a bit as if to agree with you. I guess that might be one of the reasons. You Digitwave? He pauses before speaking again. You perk eyebrow at him. Yeah? This seems like a silly question. No? Lay on me. What is it? Oh, tell me what it is. Do you believe in gods? The question caught you by surprise. Never thought of Crow as a religious type. More so, be interested in gods. Or at least, he's just curious by the idea of them. This may be the best moment to know for sure. Last time I said I do, I'm gonna say I don't. You don't? No, I don't. I believe in one's hard work. Does that count? Crow merely chuckles at your statement. With a hand resting on his chest, he shakes his head slightly, as if he couldn't believe he just heard you say that. I don't mind that people who believe in them. I just don't like the way some of them worship the very ground those so-called gods walked on. He scoffed. I believe that everyone is made possible, though everyone's efforts, be it as a team or as an individual. Their beliefs only give credit to those entities for everything, and it's not an insult to the forgotten people who sacrificed themselves to make things happen. You recall the townsfolk who endlessly praised and worshipped your patron deity for the boundless harvest you and your family broke sweat and tears for. You watched as the efforts of your labor were all thrown to some visible being which, as far as you know, returned nothing but calamities one after the other. Thus was only a miracle that you, your father, and your damn farmland are still standing, and your corpse still thriving, even after so much damage. Oh, because you don't believe it. That's what happened. Crow noticed the way your brows furrowed. He says nothing, but looks at his eyes, told that he shares your sentiments wholeheartedly. This is why we're two peas in the same pod. How about you? Do you believe in gods? He turned to Crow, repeating the same question he asked to you earlier. He scanned your face, your eyes, your nose, then your lips. He lingers his gaze made you shrink back, your heart fluttering slightly. Crow seemed to realize something to himself and returns his attention to the stars above, sighing. I don't. That surprised you, and Crow laughs at your visible shock and confusion. What? You don't think I'm a non-believer? If I had to be honest, no. Why so? You kind of dress like a priest. Crow's blue eyes grow wide as he broke out into one of the loudest laughs you have ever heard from him. He laughed so hard that he had to clench his stomach and wipe at the tear-stained corners of his eyes. He was still chuckling when he unbuttons the first two studs of his black polo, revealing more of his collarbone to you. You quickly avert your eyes, finding a tree leaves to be very interesting at this moment. As you feel a familiar heat rush to your cheeks. How's that? Less formal? For Christ's sake, Ichabod. Which is kind of funny because I said I don't. It feels like I'm seeing a Victorian woman's ankles for the first time. Crow grins at your reaction. It took both of you a few seconds of going back and forth, with him teasing you and you reprimanding him before you finally calm down. The next few moments you spend with you pointing at the stars and Crow teaching you the constellations with a gentle whisper-like voice. You both fell silent, basking in the peace of the night. As the silence prolonged, Crow fell deep in thought. About today, Digitwave, and about the guys. We're moving to this conversation next time. I got to be honest, Daryl can put me up on this little hangout. Well, I was feeling down on the dumps. Yeah, I got that. I didn't get it the first time, but now I fully understand. Oh wait, did I? Oh yeah, it's gonna be in the edit. I don't know where I'm gonna put this third one, but yeah, he put in. He grabbed his phone and text. I think I do have to thank him for forcing me to actually give me the courage to talk to you after class. He let out a breath. He didn't know he was refusing to meet your eyes. I just don't know if I upset you by suddenly dragging you into this group. I probably should have told you about them a long time ago, huh? I'm sorry, Digitwave. You bit your lip. You suspect that you might have upset Crow by making him think you didn't like the group's presence at all. And he's forcing you to bend to his will. One thing I know about Crow is that he's never the type to demand, to control, or be king. To be a tyrant. You didn't do anything wrong, Crow. In fact, I should be the one to apologize. You speak up without thinking. Crow turns his head to you, to look at you, his gaze swirling with confusion at your apology. I'm sorry for making you feel bad. I didn't mean to upset you, You saw a lump in your throat, trying your best to hold the tears that were afraid to spill. I just thought that you forgot about me after. They're amazing people. Brittany's pretty, Daryl's a funny guy, Gio's so cool, and Jess is loyal. They're great people. They're a great group. And most importantly, you're amazing, Crow. You're all amazing. But not me. But I'm just not sure if I could ever be part of the group. You were always hidden in the shadows, no matter how much you tried to fit in. You were never to be considered. People treated you like someone to toss away, someone to use. You are worth nothing but extra. Was everyone Bakugo? That's what she always tells you. You couldn't hold it back anymore. A sob escaped your lips, your vision slowly blurring as you feel wet droplets of tears slowly slide down your cheeks from your eyes. For a moment you saw panic in Crow's expression, seemingly not expecting you to burst into tears. He reached out to hold your hand, And suddenly, you feel a pair of arms circling around you, and he pulls you closer to him, letting you sob in his shoulder. He says nothing while rubbing a hand along your back, allowing you to cry, not caring about his clothes getting wet from your tears. Once you calm down, Crow rests his hand on your back, not letting you out of his brace. Oh, you're amazing, Digital Wave. I'm like, Press, I'm sorry. I never get to tell you that no matter how many sorry, I never get to tell you that no matter how many times I thought of it. I just can't seem to find the words. But you're amazing in your own way, Digital Wave. You may not know it, but you're beautiful. You're funny. You're quite phenomenal. You could feel the vibrations coming from his chest as from a chuckle he emits. Heck, you're the funniest person I know. What I'm saying, Digital Wave, is that you're amazing. You have no idea how much tears you shed tonight. Sometimes you think it's silly and childish to cry over what was probably a trivial matter to some, but the urge to sob returned after hearing those words from him. Do you want me to call you the amazing Spider-Man just to prove you are amazing? Yeah, how about Batman? Or Deadpool? I just watched Deadpool and Wolverine. That made you giggle a bit as you wiped your tear-stained cheeks. With whatever strength you had mustered, you slowly pull away and lift yourself up. You sit yourself up, hovering over Crow, and then you see the very same man that made you cry by literally doing nothing. His braid came loose, and you didn't know that when, but his hair pulled around his head. Crow stares at you with serene eyes, remain silent as a gentle smile passes around his face. There is nothing but a moon illuminating his tender features, yet your vision, he seems to glow. He's absolutely beautiful. Oh, how you wish you could blame everything on him. If you could tell him that he's the reason for all the unnecessary feelings swelling in your chest. You tell him exactly how good and bad it feels, the heartache and butterflies fluttering around your stomach. You want to blame him, but you can't. So I think I have to hug him because I know I kissed him last time, so I'm trying not to get the bad in this time. You didn't feel as bad as before, but your vessel is not completely empty yet. Somehow, just looking at Crow, at the comfort he brought you, made you want to bask in it longer, until you were sure you had no tears left to shed. Leaning down once more, you bury your face in the crook of his neck, and his arms and stiffly wrapped around you, his hug warm and smoothing as he waits for you to gather your thoughts. Crow rubs the circles in your back, a silent way of telling you that he was there, and you're not alone, and that he's there wherever you need him. He didn't say a word, understanding that you need silence more than anything right now. You couldn't thank him enough for always knowing what you needed. You have no idea exactly how long you remained in the brace while lying down on the grass, but you feel a lot better that you are ready to get up on your feet. You pull away mean Crow's eyes that seem to ask after your well-being. Affixing his collar, he turns to you. Are you good to go? You could read it just from his gaze. You nod, and it's only then that Crow completely releases you from his embrace, helping you sit up before he dust off the grass that stuck on his shirt. He gives you a once-over, gently swatting away the leaves on your hair and clothes. You blink at him. He only smiles at you. You get up and Crow retrieves his bag, almost forgone by the tree. He looks back at you and takes your hand silently. It's time to go. It was time to leave this magical place. You look at the stars, at how brightly they shone. You gave the sky one last glance before turning away, hand clasped tightly around Crow's as you let him lead you home. Crow walks you to your apartment, knowing that he kept you out late at night. You bid Crow goodbye. After he safely sees you inside, he gave you a wave before turning on his heel and make his way down the stairs. You close your apartment door and lean on it, heaving a puff of air. You recall the conversation you had with Crow while walking with him on the street leading to your home. I'm going to give you guys a chance. I'm going to give the guys a chance. I think I judged them too quickly. So I want to do better. I want to do better. I want to get to know them better. If you trust them, then trust them too. Crow's expression was a surprise at your dedication, as you determined face reflected in his orbs. Crow's chuckles at your refusalism, giving you a friendly pat on the head. I'm glad you're giving them a chance to wave. I'm sure they feel the same. You engage in other conversations with Crow during your walk. The topics not really being any of apartments, as you have forgotten them by now, save for his gentle voice and the occasional fond glances he stole at you. This time Crow seems to pass by too quickly. You arrive at your apartment complex before you know it. You make your way to the living room and throw your school bag to a random corner, completely plopping down on your sofa as you turn on the small television. Nothing interesting is going to save for some food commercials and movie trailers. That pizza looks good. Maybe I should order something. Reaching for your pocket and taking out your phone, you were about to dial the numbers on the television when a new notification bubble pops up on the notification bar. It's from a group chat that you've never seen before. After looking at it, you realized that it was from Crow. It was Crow who added you in. It was a group chat with the rest of his friends. You open it. You are going to the Halloween party this Friday. It'll be awesome. Aren't we all a bit too old for costume parties? Is it required? You two are no fun at all. I won't go if it's not a school requirement. Much less a waste of my time. Is it? No, it isn't. But it'll be great and fun experience for all of us. I mean, we should loosen up a bit, you know. I guess I agree with Crow. Count me in. Pass. I got more important things to do than that party. Now, will you excuse me? I'll be doing my leftover task for tonight. Jill has gone offline. Jeez, a stick in the mud as usual. How about you, Digital Wave? Me? You're joining in? It'll be fun. You were honestly surprised they somehow remembered you. Checking your calendar for your phone, you didn't seem to have any plans in the near future, or plans at all. You like to just spend your time in your apartment alone. I mean, sure. That's great to hear. Crow seems happy about it, you giggled. That reminds you of something. Or rather, someone. Opening in their chat, you tap in Soul's newly added contact and send him send him a message by sending the image of the same poster Daryl sent. I just love the poster. A Halloween party hosted by the Skull. Yeah, I'm not quite into parties. Oh, oh, well, that's all right. Just asking, that's all. Soul's typing. Wait. If you're coming, then I'm coming as well. Really? Really. Do you plan on dressing up? I don't know, do you? I mean, it's a costume party, why not? I'll think of something then. You swear you could feel the smile behind those words. With a quick word of goodbye, you set your phone down when you hear the doorbell. It must be the food delivery. Afterwards, you eat your dinner and prepare yourself for bed. Your thoughts about the events that happened today mean the group, mean Soul, and most especially, your little hangout with Crow. Each and every moment is a special occasion on its own, laying out a big yawn as you stretch your body. You turn to your laundry slowly piling up and scratch your head. We'll probably do laundry tomorrow. But for now, you pop yourself on the soft cushions of your bed, getting into a comfortable position and slowly dozing off as you close your eyes, embracing sleep as the night goes. And the maiden she lived with no other thought than love and to be loved by me, the one who loves. I was a child, she was a child, in the kingdom by the sea. Day 2, the kingdom. The sun sang by the horizon, colors of great grassy fields into the deep golden orange as the wind made some strands of hair brush across your face. Your ever-belonging beloved home, the tall grass, the fresh air, the various farm animals that you and your family, I was gonna say father because I know the outcome, your family raised since you were a mere child. You can't even imagine what was happening before you as a group of people came they talked with your father. Came and talked with your father. Your only family member left. You see the stress in your father's eyes as he tries to his best to negotiate with the people before him. The desperation in his face, in his voice, the sweat running down his neck as he moves it around his hand, gesturing this and that. Please give me more time. I promise I could pay up. This is all we have left. I don't know where else to go if we lose this farmland. We've given you enough chances already, Mr. Stark. If you don't pay up your debt, we will take your land. It's just funny that I keep making myself Stark. The loud ringing of the school bell rang across the hallway, making you jerk out of your thoughts. Students came out for their classroom doors. You feel someone shake you awake. You sit up and meet face to face with Crow. Well, good morning, Sleeping Beauty. You let out a yawn, rubbing your eyes as you look around. Your fellow classmates are now gone from their seats, as it's now lunchtime. What? What did I miss? Nothing important. Though, if you're having doubts, I could lend you my notes afterwards. Thanks, Crow. You're a lifesaver. Even for you, Digital Wave. You recall the little dream you had. You quickly shake it off as you let out a stretch, popping a few joints before you got up and went out of your classroom with Crow in tow. You meet up with your group of friends, seeing Daryl with Geo and Crow waiting by the lockers, Brittany coming along behind them, and Jess. You wave at them. Good noon to you all. Regards, Daryl. How was class? Boring. And boring. So glad to be out there. One more useless minor and I'll be out here. Gio just shrugged, a hand in his hoodie pocket, while the other on his phone. We got to at least do something in our major today, though. But I'm glad about. More papers, but it was at least something. Enough about papers. How about the Halloween party? Got any ideas for a costume yet? As they talk with each other, at the corner of your eye, you notice a familiar face, a familiar figure. It was Sol, who came out of the classroom, and another person coming afterwards behind him. Suddenly bored of his mind. Joined Sol. You turn your head to Quo with a shy manner, almost hesitant to ask, Crow? Is it okay if I leave? I have somewhere to be. Is that so? There's a silent disappointment in his voice, but he let you continue on. Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't hang out. Nonsense. I'll see you after lunch instead, then did wave. If you're ever interested, of course. Sure thing. You give Crow one last smile before heading over to where Sol and his companion is. You walk towards the two individuals. They seem to be in deep conversation. However, Sol noticed your presence and stopped talking. His attention now on you. His companion noticed the change in his friend's demeanor and follows his gaze as it lands on you. The short male greets you with a smile. Oh, his little thing's gone. Hi there. You're friends with Sonny? Sonny? Sonny. He pats Sol on the back, causing the taller male to jerk slightly upwards. Sol gives him an irritated look, observing the way his face is slowly turning red. You know, because he's such a sunshine, he's Sonny. You will a small giggle, shifting your eyes towards Sol as it catches your gaze on his. Upon landing eye contact, Sol quickly averts his gaze away from yours, holding up his hand as he tries his hardest to hide his face away. Like a nickname? Yes, Sonny loves the nickname I gave him. Right, Sonny. Sol remains silent, but refusing to meet your gaze. That's adorable. Yeah, he doesn't like the name. For a moment, the three of you were silent before the shorter male speaks up once more. The shorter male that killed me last time. You sure have taste, Sonny. She's very pretty, like you said. A blush makes its way to your face, scratching the back of your head. You bit your bottom lip as you let out a small thank you. Anyways, nice to meet you. My name's Hugo. I'm this big old Grumpy's best friend. Joy, pleased to meet you. Pleasure to meet you too. He extends his hand for you to take, which you merely accept. shaking it and put it back on his side, a smile on his face as he did so. So anyway, what are you up to, Digitwave? Oh, I just saw you both and I wanted to greet you. More importantly, you check for Soul's face. He seems to look better than yesterday. Are you alright now, Soul? Huh? Oh, yeah, I'm feeling quite better. Thankfully the bruise didn't last that long to leave a mark. Wait, what bruise? You got injured? Nothing for you to worry about. Hugo looks at him with a worried look, like how a mother hen would to her chicks. But he also looks like he's about to give him the biggest scolding of his life. Soul turns his head away, not wanting to deal with whatever comes out of his friend's mouth. From the looks of it, this seems to be a regular thing for the two of them. With a sigh, Hugo turns his attention back to you. Anyway, we're planning to go to the rooftops today and eat lunch there. The weather's doing better unlike yesterday. You want to tag along with us, Digitwave? You guys are a fan of the cafeteria? Upon mentioning the cafeteria, Soul shivered, and Hugo only gave a small chuckle. Sunny isn't a big fan of the noise there. Let's get going, shall we? Sure. I just realized I'm probably not gonna do all the CGs. Cause it takes a long time for me to do these, especially when I'm so tired. Hugo walks up to his usual spot, and he got himself seated on a bench that somehow never took notice before. Soul follows along, and his hand is a large wrapped box that caught your interest. Sit beside Soul. Soul notices you from the corner of his eyes, and the edge of his lips move upward. You point to the box nestled in Soul's hands. Is that your lunch, Soul? You can say that. Soul unwraps the cloth, showing you three bento boxes. He took out the first bento that was settled on top, before giving the second one to Hugo. Hugo happily steps to the box, thanking Soul before taking out his chopsticks. Opening the container, Hugo lets out a awed sound, and his eyes sparkling, Joel slowly sleeping out of the corner of his open mouth. He actually listened, and... Do you cut these sausages into octopuses? Did you cut these tiny sausages into octopuses? Keep your voice down. It's ringing in my ears. Wait. I need to take a picture of it. Placing the box gently in his lap, Hugo rummages through his pockets before taking out his phone. Placing his phone and camera, he flips it horizontally, then starts clicking away, taking one or two photos. Hugo lifts out the container back into his hands, but not before turning to you and showing you what he keeps gushing about. Oh my! Isn't it adorable, Digitwave? There you see are various ranges of food with rice shaped to match them off, seaweed to design, and a face along with using a cabbage leaf to form its wings. Right before them off are tiny sausages shaped like octopuses, wonderfully cut carrots that make it look like stars, and squeezed beside stuffed taki mushrooms, the egg roll, sushi, and bacon with melted cheese, with a dip looking delicious. I almost feel too bad to eat it, especially not with how cute this little guy is. Hugo points at the silk moth-shaped rice. Oh, he's saying, I know what he's saying. Without wasting another second, Hugo starts digging in, shuffling down the rice like a wild, hungry animal. I just can't pronounce it right now. Like I said last time, I think. It's the thing that you say every time you start eating. Do you make this? Did you make this yourself, Soul? You could say that. Soul answers, opening his own container. He thought you see another form of food art made by Soul himself within the container, but instead was greeted by simply ham and cheese sandwich. He takes out a slice, but before he could take a bite, he turns to you. Have you eaten, Digitwave? Yeah, I'm gonna probably say no, I haven't. Soul's eyes went wide and it gave you a shocked look. Before you knew it, Soul takes out another box and sells it on your lap. You can have this. It's an extra. Why do you have extra? I didn't like how this looked, so I figured I would let Hugo finish it. It's a waste of ingredients. You don't have to, Soul, really. No assist. Just eat the same box. Hugo, who clearly had enough of the back and forth batter, suggests the idea before returning to his own box. Soul hesitates, but he eventually takes out a spoon and fork, handing them to you. Take the bite from the bento box. Accepting the fork, you cut off a piece of the octopus-shaped sausage. You take a bite and chew. The mixture of flavors, how the rice remains warm and fluffy, and the sausage savory taste helps bounce it out, sending a tingling feeling down your spine from your mouth. It's amazing. It's delicious. Soul, this is really good. Hugo nods along with you with gusto, food stuffed on one cheek like a hamster. I know, right? You're honestly be surprised. Soul? You make a great house husband. You make a great house husband. Soul's eyes widen at your declaration. You really think so? I really do think so. Wait, doesn't know what he said. So it's definitely house husband material, Digitwave. He can cook, he can clean, he can do anything. I'd rather not be your personal butler. It was a compliment. The two batter, but you couldn't help but look at Soul, and the way his eyes sparkle. They almost remind you of white fireworks during the New Year. You could eventually finish his own box, tucking it away and wrapping it back up. Standing up from the bench, Hugo stretched out his limbs, placing a few steps forward before turning to look at you and Soul, with his hands on his hips. Is this what you guys do every day? Or at least when you both get together? You raise your question. Hugo turns his attention to you with a slight tilt. What do you mean? You mean Soul giving me lunch? He just keeps forgetting to bring his own. Hugo pouts. And you never finish yours, so I'll do the honors of finishing good food. Thank you very much. Those bento box are... What inspired them? If you don't mind me asking. Because he's an artist. Oh, you don't know? Shit, go. Go. Oh, now we're using the nicknames now, Sonny. How sweet of you. You see here, digital wife? My old pal here just makes food art like the typical artist that he is. But he never bothers to finish it, much less eat it. And he really loves cute things like... He's like... I think I already know. With a finger under his chin, Hugo ponders for a short moment, trying to remember something from the top of his head, but to no avail. He turns to his friend, his arms crossed, seemingly uninterested in answering whatever inquiry Hugo's going to throw at him. What was the name of your flesh horse, Sonny? Like, how am I going to answer that? Boo. He owns a flesh horse. So owns fleshies. So bites his lip, his face turned red upon the veil of his little secret. That's so cute. You're full of surprises, Soul. He says nothing as he fixed his choker. The red blush tilting his face like it's way to the tip of his ears. But appreciates your compliment, nevertheless. Looks can be deceiving. That makes you wonder. What do people why do people never bother to know him? Why don't people want to get to know him? Maybe they just never gave him the chance because of how he looks, not to mention his intimidating height. I wonder if it's going to be almost the exact same. It's original. But he isn't like that at all. In fact, he can be considered a very gentle giant. The time has passed for a while, and now Hugo and Soul are leaning against the railings, observing the view below them. Well, both of them. Curious, you make your way to where they were. Hugo and Soul seem to be looking at something below. Their faces solemn and serious. Hugo's face is blank, while Soul's expression is a mixture of irritation and agitation. You look down and see a group of well-dressed people, but what makes them stand out is not from the way they dress, but the way they carry themselves. They're clearly not from here. But the Skull's logo on their uniform, chest, pocket says otherwise. They look so fancy. They look rich. Dangerous. You couldn't help but hold your gaze on the tallest one in the group, an adult man. You're guessing that he must be the staff member. Maybe a teacher, but what sticks out about him is the eye patch on his face and the large scar behind it. It sends a shiver down your spine, like you know it. High-class mugs. Solemn exclaims, pure disgust, quoting his tone, not hiding a single bit as he pulls away from the railing, returns to the bench where you last were. High class? Ah, you don't know about the hierarchy, digital web? No, not that I'm aware of. This is the first time I've ever heard of it. How come I had never heard of it or seen one of them throughout my school years here? Hugo lets out a little chuckle, his attention still on the group below him. Then his gaze darkens. The usual happy-go-lucky attitude you come to know is disappeared as a flash, as if the person before you is a whole different person. Well, technically is. I don't blame you. No one likes talking about them anyway. My class? Okay. About the hierarchy? How come I never heard about the hierarchy before? It's like a hidden thing. But that's what we call it. The skull? No. This entire city. It's like a fighting pit. Whoever is the most powerful has better chance at living a life here, a good life here. People come to the skull to gain a second chance in life. But to achieve that, you have to make yourself well known. Make them think you're worth their time. If not, you're on your own. High class. He seems to shiver down, sends a chilling glare down at the group below. The skull building is exactly the real thing. Wait, what? But the skull map clearly says the address is. That's where they actually fool you. You might think you got it right, but we are sorted based on background. The real skull building, way further than where we are, and their campus is 10 times better, bigger and better. They get proper classes, have better equipment. Everything is just better. Here, we only get the short end of the stick. The afterthought, if you will. If I have to guess, the well off you are in the main building. That's right. Sort of like a duke. Daughter of a businessman. Heck, as long as you're rich, you're in. Your chances for having a better education rest there. If you're a part of the higher class, then you have a better chance of having a successful and stable life. But don't we have students who are like super rich? You recall Crow introducing you to Jess, her being a daughter of family owning a large company. It's not Geo now? So it's now Jess. How come she's not part of the higher class? Wait, was it the entire time? I know they were talking about Geo was technically in their route, so Crow's route for the original is the last one I played. There are some who end up shifted down here and moving to our building. Either they failed a class or got a violation. They didn't want that type of stain in their reputation, so they sent them here. So technically Crow and Geo, if that didn't change, of course, some don't appreciate that. They see us as someone lower than them. Hence, Hugo glances back at Soul, the said man now busying himself with his sketchpad. A soft look flashed in his eyes, like how a mother would worry over their child. There he understood something. Oh. They have to fight the weak to feel something, huh? That sounds like nothing but boys. How come someone didn't step up to complain? Hugo laughs at your words, as if you told him the best joke of his life. He shakes his head in disappointment. It's only if that was easy. His laughter dies down, his expression back to being solemn as he scratches the back of his head. Actually, Jitawave, in this city, no one really gives a crap. Money is the only thing that's revolving around the city. You got no cash, you're done for. Which is why people like us, he turns to look at you dead in the eyes, are desperate to get to the higher class. If you so dare complain. He pauses, coupling the next step of the words he's going to say, his mouth opening and closing like a guppy out of water. Instead, he gives you a warning look. His sky blue eyes that once reminded you of summer skies are now cold, like sharp icicles about to pierce you. You're better off dead. With one last look below, Hugo lets out a sigh as he turns to look somewhere else trying to shove away the thoughts clouding his mind. But that's the sad reality here. The tension is the tension is good. Great, even. Your chances to get settled, a stable wife, and even have a knock to stardom is high once you're part of the higher class. Much less graduate there. Have nothing else to ask. The city is corrupted. He mutters under his breath, which is why, which makes me a question to Joyve. Why were you able to get into the city? But the better question is, why did you enroll in the school? You don't, if you don't mind me asking that, is you're clearly not from here. Your eyes widened at the words that of the well-dressed man said. No, I refuse. Joyve, I thought I told you to stay inside. You're not taking this farm, my home. You cut your father's words off, marching towards the tall man with loud and heavy footsteps. The tall man, however, raised an eyebrow at you, raising his hand to his man. His deep midget eyes then turned to look straight at your eyes. It sent chills down your spine. Oh, now we get to see the silhouette. Well, a bit feisty, seeing that this is our first time meeting, right? Let me introduce myself. My name is... I can't read that. But you could call me Mr. Z. And as for our little agenda, how about this, little lamb? If you manage to pay off your debt in the next 5 years, I'll let you off the hook and let you keep your land. 5 years? You can handle that. Maybe working 3 jobs would do it for you. He tuts waving a finger in front of your face. He looks down at you, reminding you of your place, a mischievous smile appearing on his handsome features. But I have some conditions you need to meet. You went silent. Your heart starts pounding in your chest as you kept eye contact with the sharp magenta orbs. I want you to stay in the city. The city? But we can't even afford to take her to college. What more, moving to the city? Your father interrupts the man mid-sentence. The man merely gives your father a side glance, making the old man freeze on his feet before returning his gaze back to you. No need to worry. She'll be under my jurisdiction, of course. I'll provide for her education and accommodation. Suddenly he burst into laughter, showing his head back a bit, as if he just heard a very funny joke. See? I'm not that cruel. Would you agree, Digital Wave? But just like I said, I want you to pay off your debt. Land doesn't come in cheap, darling. And I've been very patient with how long this payment's been postponed. A sudden jerk on your collar made your heart jump. His face now mere inches from your own. His brows furrowed in anger, filled with spite. Did you wave? No, not one step, man. He screams at your... not one step, old man. He screams at your father, not sparing him a glance, as he kept his hold on your collar. You tried to claw his hands away from it, but with no avail, saying that you are losing more air the more you struggle. Listen here, punk. I don't care what kind of method you're going to do in order to make money. A dark smile appeared on his face. It sent shivers down your spine. Being a good civilian, or get a part-time job like the rest, or blank your or go do stuff in strip clubs, legal or illegal. I don't care, as long as you reach the amount. If not, well, you can say goodbye to your little farmland. He says that, but there was a gleam in his eye that is telling you that it's not all. Letting go of your collar, he steps back as you clearly take in the air that you lost, tears making its way towards your eyes, frying to drop. So, listen, little Fawn, what is it going to be? You bit your lip, bit the bottom of your lip. You turn to look at your father. His eyes were clearly telling you to decline. He didn't want to comply with this man's words, much less take his offer. You think he might throw you in their form of debit, debit for letting him fund you to go to the city. There was something about this man that screams dangerous. But you were so desperate to not lose your home. Your only home. Tick-tock, sweetheart. I haven't got all day. The tall man's gaze still fixed on you, waiting for your answer. Do you accept? You recall the dream you had in the morning. It felt as if it happened yesterday, despite the events that happened nearly 4 years ago. You're still being taunted by the deal the tall man offered you. Ego observed the way your face hardened. The way your eyebrows arched, and a drop of sweat dropping amidst the cool autumn wind. Then he understood. He understood. Let me guess. It's something you can't avoid? I honestly don't know. My father never really disclosed as to why we were in debit. But I was so desperate to not lose my only home. I need to make it up to the higher class no matter what. 3 jobs isn't cutting off the way I wanted it to be. I'm running out of time. This is my last year in this cursed university, and I barely make any progress. Yuka's eyes remain on your figure. You realize you haven't answered his questions yet. My family owns a land in the south. He finally speak, making Hugo perk up his eyebrows in curiosity. What sort of farm does your family have? Oh, well, we have some wheat fields, and we tend to animals, such as cows and horses. Horses, bet Soul is going to love that place. That sounds fun. I'd have loved to be out of the city once in a while. He gave him a small smile. Yeah, some might say it's boring, but it's not. You get to pet horses or cows. Well, you should really invite me, or even Soul over, if ever. Having you give us a tour would be a great change of scenery. But that means you're a long way from home. Don't you miss it? A little. A little. That's right, it's normal to feel a little homesick. I heard great things about the city. About the school. Hugo remained silent. Remained quiet. Listening to you as you went on. If I can manage to come out on top and be a part of the higher class, like you said, then I can maybe save my family's farm. Crossing his arms, he says nothing as he looks at you one last time before letting out an endearing chuckle. You remind me of her. Like her? Ah. I'm rambling. Don't mind me. Ah. Having caught red-handed. He waves his hand around in silent panic, his face now red as a cherry, and you tilt your head in confusion. And then you felt the presence behind you. Turning around, you meet with Soul. His glare is stingy and directed at Hugo. The short male, however, did not mind it. Probably used to it. It's almost time. We should head back. All right. With nothing else to do, the three of you left the rooftop. You take one step down, looking up and ready to converse with Soul and Hugo, when you suddenly lose your footing. Digitwave! Oh, you're alright there, Digitwave? Yeah, thank you, Soul. Eyes wide in shock, you held onto Soul's arm tight. His arm wrapped around your wrist, and he pulls you close to his chest. You can feel both of your heartbeats run. Pulling away, you steady your footing, observing the stairs, cursing at how weirdly formed it is. Be careful next time. Jeez, the school and its bad architecture. Also, one of the few flaws here, the stairs are all wonky. It's also why it's forbidden to go up here. We're troublemakers, though. Hugo lets out a cocky grin, then goes down the stairs with much ease, as if it's nothing to him. What a menace. Turning to Hugo, not Hugo, turning to Soul, you grab hold of his shoulder, and he did not mind as you use him as a guide to descend down the stairs. Okay, so the school bell rang throughout the hallway, signaling the start of a new classes. Hugo let out a groan. I don't want to go to class. I hate history. Hate my history teacher, as much as my coach in archery. Why don't you skip them? Hugo's eyes pop open. It became bright like a light bulb appearing out of his head and lighting up. He knows exactly what Soul knows exactly what that look means. Don't tell me you actually. I'm going to skip class. How about it? Screw the school. If we're going to, if they're going to treat us like us badly, then we'll be the bad guys. I'm pretty sure we're the bad guys. There you go. A mischievous look makes its way to Hugo's face. Soul already knew what that look means. Sighing as he did so, he turns to you, waiting for your response to Hugo's offer. So, technically I'm supposed to skip with them. That's what I'm going to do. Because I'm going to still edit through. The thought of skipping is quite a gamble. Your next class is with Crow in art history. But then again, your teacher will probably only do some boring introduction. Missing one wouldn't hurt, would it? We skip! Sorry, we're skipping. Hugo lets out a small cheer, giving you a thumbs up. Soul gives you a cheeky smile of its own. But how do we do that, though? Obviously, we can't go through at the entrance since it's closed and guarded. I know a way. Without wasting any time, Soul leads the way. Going through the back side of the school near the gardens. The edges, of course, were barricaded by a tall iron fence. Soul finds a bush and pushes it aside, revealing a gaping hole. Well, that's quite convenient. Did you make the whole Soul? He did. I did. Yeah, of course, what Hugo. Hugo went ahead first through the hole. Soul waits for you first before falling right after. The three of you went past a few bushes and shrubs, leaves falling as you passed them by, red and orange leaves scattered around, and some making its way to your uniform. Before you all eventually made it out and it's out and met with pavement. So, where do we go? Hugo thought for a moment, looking around before pulling out his phone. Suddenly, he lets out a gasp, scrolling through his phone faster than gripping on Soul's shoulder, uttering him a hiss from the taller male. Sherlock Holmes is out! Yay! Technically, I would go watch the movie with him, which I think we actually have to do to get the CGs. We have to do 2. So I have to save there. My ears. Oh yeah, it's a detective movie I kept seeing on television. I thought that wouldn't come out until next week. Did I get the date wrong? With that, Hugo starts sprinting, leaving you and Soul behind. For the love of... Soul placed a hand on his hips before walking to where Hugo ran off to, as she followed. Hugo kept tapping away on his phone. His shoulders went slump. Guess he did get the date wrong. Shoving his phone back in his pocket, he turned to you and Soul. He clasped his hands together and pulled the biggest puppy eyes you have ever seen. We got to watch this. Can we, Digitwave? Can we, Sonny? Hugo begged. You could go ahead and watch the movie. I'm gonna roam the arcade while you're at it. Hugo pouted. His eyes went half-lidded, and the spark in his eyes was gone. But it's more fun if you're around. I know you like those crime videos you watch from time to time, so please. Soul, however, basing off his expression, is not in the mood. Hugo gives up and turns to you. How about it, Digitwave? Would you like to watch the movie with me? The ticket and food are on me, of course. In our original playthrough, we did go for the arcade. We are gonna go for the movies this time first because there's a CG for him if you go to the movie, and then we'll go back to the arcade. Scene. I'm gonna probably do it where we see the both ends and then go back and get the RCG. So let's do this. Watch the movie. Hugo gave you a bright smile. Heck yeah. I knew you were a trooper, Digitwave. Come on, let's go grab some tickets and snacks. Do you want popcorn or something else? The short male went along ahead towards the movie theater with you coming along, following him behind. Soul clicked his tongue. He shoved his hands in his pant pockets as he followed along behind you. Hugo took notice of this and raised a brow. Oh, I thought you weren't interested in the movie, sonny boy. You're right. It does look interesting. I think he's gonna be more focused on me. Stop making excuses. You just want to be with your sweet Digitwave. Let's go. Soul takes a hold of your wrist and drags you away from Hugo and to the movie theater. What? Hey! come back here. I'm talking to you. Soul went ahead to the counter and brought tickets for the three of you. Soul turned around and gave one ticket to you. Your fingers brushed with his, causing him to blush. Finally caught up to you two, Hugo pouted as he crossed his arms looking at Soul. I thought the tickets were on you, Hugo. It is, but guess it's on Soul now. Not that I'm complaining or anything, but this is supposed to be my treat. Oh well, the food's on me. Wait right here. Hugo scurried off to the food booth, leaving you and Soul one last time. He walked towards the now showing pictures, examining the poster. Sherlock Holmes, huh? Hugo's interested in detective movies? Oh, I'm definitely am. It's Sherlock Holmes. I love the novels. He turned to ask Soul. He placed a hand on his hip as he checked the poster next to you. You could say that. He aspires to be one. That's quite charming of him. And Sherlock Holmes is his inspiration. Wait. Someone's murders like Sherlock Holmes, okay. It's just one of them. It's this other one, Duplin, and the other one, I'm gonna say, which, I know the name, brain fart, because I've actually read the author before. So, you know, Detective Conan, Nagala wrote a book and wrote a detective novel based off Sherlock Holmes, and that is what Kogoro is named after his main character. I just brain farted on the name. Arina Kogoro. It's just one of them. I see. How about Soul? What's your favorite genre? Soul raised his eyebrows at you. Soul raised his brow at you. He placed a finger on his chin and looked up, staring at the ceiling. I like supernatural, horror, and thriller. The supernatural horror, so we could just watch Supernatural. Or and thriller. How about we just watch Scream? I love Scream. Along with the tales of the Headless Horseman and those original fairy tales by the Grimm brothers. And he would like kill. So make it kind of funny that the bad and he kills someone that his last name is Ichabod. Saying the Headless Horseman. Yeah, I do know that story, those stories, so all those sound so gruesome. I bet you feel weirded out by it. No, I definitely don't. I've heard worse. In a quote from a romance novel I read, which is supernatural. It coughed the head. If it keeps moving, run for your life. What do you mean? I actually enjoyed those as well. Really? Now? Really, how? Of course I do. I think they're really interesting and I love the thrill they give. Soul stares at you in awe before a smile breaks out on his face. Then maybe we could watch another one. I'm back. I also love Sherlock Holmes, so we do not go anywhere else that's not Sherlock Holmes. Hugo's familiar voice was heard. You turned around and saw him walking towards both of you. Two large bags filled with popcorn on each arm, and a large cup being held. Oh, let me! He said, taking one bag from Hugo's arm. He thanks you for your help. I got snacks. Hope you like popcorn, Ninja Wave. He then turns to Soul. Come on, let's get in before the movie starts. Soul nods, and you, Hugo, follow him towards the entrance of the movie theater. He hands one of the free tickets, then to the three of you. He hands one of the free tickets, then the three of you enter. He hands out the free tickets, then the three of you enter. This isn't it. This piece wants you to believe that it's ultimate evidence of this case when in fact you were halfway through the movie, the bag of popcorn halfway finished. You look at the blue-haired male on your left as he gazes transfixed on the large screen before you. Hugo, during the beginning of the film, was really giggly, but now he was silent, seemingly endorsed with the scene happening in the movie. His hand goes on autopilot as he munches on each bite of popcorn. To your right, Soul, surprisingly, was also engrossed with the movie before him. You need to go to the bathroom. You're holding in for a while, since you don't want to miss out the porn scenes, but Mother Nature is knocking so hard on your door. I'll hold on for longer. Sherlock Holmes. You tap Soul's shoulder. He turns his attention to you. You need something? I need to go to the comfort room. I need to go to the bathroom. I just said that. Would you like me to accompany you? No, it's fine. Just enjoy the movie. Soul gave you a nod, and you took it as a signal to stand up from your seat, ducking down, making sure not to block the scene from the viewers at the back as you speed walk towards the movie theater's comfort room. Geez, and it's already getting interesting, too. I'll probably just ask Hugo what happened when I was gone. Well, time to head back. The force opening the door startled you. A few grunts were heard and the shuffling of feet, as if they were in a struggle. You went quiet. You'd better speak up or else. Wait. I don't know what you're talking about. How many times do I have to tell you? Bull crap. Your eyes widen as your breathing stopped. You quietly but quickly went to the nearest toilet stall. What's going on? A fight? In the cinema, out of all places? Whatever's going on by the door is clearly something that you don't want to get involved with. Just tell me who is the traitor that you're in cahoots with, and I'll let you go on. Again, I have no idea what you're talking about. Guess I have no choice. You hear the sound of a light bulb being popped, along with the portion of the comfort room's lights going dim. Yeah, I should have, hold it. Only half the room is now lit up. But, please, I don't know, I swear. I'm giving you one last chance, buddy. The little shuffling was heard. The left's voice seems to whisper something that you can't hear. Then you hear breathing as it gets shorter and heavier. He's here. I swear, just look around. You're bound to find him here. Please don't kill me. Maybe the gun's too merciful. No. Your nose caught something. It stings as it fills the air, the edges of your eyes watering. You felt something was wet hitting the tip of your nose. You look down and your eyes widen. But blood. Oh, no, 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 no. Someone just got killed. And the body's right in front of your stall. What? Hmm? Is someone else is here? Crap, did he hear me? Well, well, well. Seems like we have a lost lamb on our shoulders. Then you hear the stall open. Oh, stall 1 block away from you being roughly opened. Not here. Come on, little lamb. Don't try to hide. Crap. I need to do something. You quickly look around, trying for a way to escape, but there's nothing but a small rectangular window just above the toilet. You could try to pry it open and call for help. I feel like I'm getting closer to you. He's about to open my stall. What should I do? Without much thought, you quickly step out of the toilet and pry open the small rectangular window. It won't budge. Then you hear the stall opening, and there's a tall man, roughly 6'8". He's dressed in all black leather gloves, adoring his hands, and one of them is a gun with a silencer attached to it. And below him is a bloody body of another man. That must be the meek-voiced man you heard. Well, hello there, little girl. You seem quite lost there. I think you seem quite lost. You did this in a movie theater bathroom of all places. Sadly, I can't let any witnesses go loose. Please don't. He, however, did not listen to your pleas. He takes his gun and loads it with a click. I'm going to die. Then you felt a hand coming to touch your hair. You flinch. You slowly back away, your legs shaking as you still refuse to open your eyes. Your arms wrapped around you. Digwave, it's okay. And you hear that too familiar voice. I'm here, Digwave. It's all right. Before you was Soul. Right behind him was Hugo. Both of their expressions are filled with worry. But your focus was on the splattered blood across the walls. Hugo notices and tries his best to block the view. Soul's hand then went to reach out for you, and he stopped midway, afraid, as if he would bump into you. Without thinking, you quickly wrapped your arms around Soul, your shoulders shaking as you bury your face on his chest. Soul takes this as a sign, gently wrapping his arms around you, a hand coming to across your hair, trying to comfort you as you shook in his hold. Can we go out, please? Without much of a word, Soul escorts you out of the scene before you, his hold tight and secure around your shoulders. Soul gives Hugo a look, and the shorter male just sighed, waving his friend away with a fanning motion. I'll take care of it. You and Soul left. Hugo lets out an irritated tiss as he looks down at the two bodies on the ground. God, what a pain in the butt. The sky was dark now, indicating it's near night. You finally out of the movie. You look down and stare at your shoes, noticing few splatters of blood. You grip on Soul's arm. He took notice and looked at your shoes. Seeing the blood, he kneels down on one knee and took out his handkerchief. No, it's all right. Doubt it. He wipes the blood off your shoes before folding his handkerchief and shoving it deep in his pockets. He looked at your disfavored look. Let me ask you again, are you alright, Digitwave? I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. You say that, but your voice is clearly betraying you. Soul isn't convinced. Instead, he keeps giving you a worried look. He sighed before shaking his head. You look around and notice that Hugo wasn't around. Where's Hugo? He got it covered. You don't need to worry about him. How about I walk you home? Huh? You know, to keep you safe. I'll keep you company. I'll keep you safe. Do you trust me? I trust you. Then let me take care of you. Soul gently takes hold of your hand and wraps it around his larger one, his gaze never leaving yours, a bright smile on his face. Lead the way then. You felt safe. You felt safe with someone, with Soul. You walked back to your apartment and was quite safe for a few night bugs, making a few hums then and there. Soul's hand still wrapped around yours. He's warm. You couldn't help but steal a few glances at Soul. He looks back at you. He said nothing, but the more he stares at you, the more longing his eyes were giving. Oh, there's the hearts. He gives you another one of those bright smiles. He squeezes your hand. You squeeze back, make him chuckle. What is it? Nothing. Your hand feels cold. Let me fix that. He hums as he raises his hand that he's holding. What? There. Now it feels warmer. He teases a blush on his own appearing on his face. What? That's not how you warm hands up. Is that so? I would love to see how you would do it. Soul. He just laughs at you, his face still red, as you playfully hit his side. Eventually, you walk back to the inn, and you meet with the front door of your apartment. You let go of the hand Soul was holding, nearly reaching out. He nearly reached out to keep his hold, but stopped himself. He turned to face him. Well, that's my place. This is my place. Oh, I see you tomorrow then? Of course. But we don't have classes together tomorrow, though. That's alright. Maybe we can hang out after classes to continue on with our project. I'll keep your word for it then. You turn your face to your apartment's front door, taking out your keys and finding the one you need. Before you insert the key to your apartment, you turn your head to look at Soul's tall figure, still unmoving from his position. Thanks for today. I really owe you one. He pauses, then his shoulders relaxed. Don't worry about it. Just know that you can count on me. Unlocking your front door, you fully turn around to give Soul one last wave with a smile on your face. He returns his own smile before walking off towards the exit. You enter your apartment. The lights dim as you groan, searching for the light switch. Much better. You nod in approval before heading to your kitchen. You open the fridge and start rummaging around for something to eat. I forgot to do my groceries. You let out an irritated sigh, seeing that there's nothing good besides leftovers from yesterday's dinner. You shrug, deciding to heat up one after you set your things down. You don't really feel like cooking or ordering either. Sighing one last time, you close the door to your fridge as you made your way to your room. You place your school bag near your desk as you take your seat, skimming through the notes you were given for the day as you wrote down needed notes. You click your tongue, and you tap your blank notebook with the tip of your pen, going on with a silent staring contest with the blank paper before you. You let out a groan. Deciding to do work later, you closed your notebook and stood up. You turn to your window, noticing it's slightly ajar. That's weird. I thought I closed it. He went near it to close it shut, but was met with a broken lock. He cursed. I thought you already placed this 2 days ago. Maybe I shouldn't buy my locks online. We have a Yandere, so I don't think it's gonna work. You loud groaned as you left alone and went out of your room and saw your living room. Your TV blared as you munched on some leftovers you got from the fridge. A movie currently playing as you kept your eyes on the protagonist. If you recall correctly, it's one of those films Jess keeps talking about, starring her favorite lead actor. You kind of get what she's gushing about. The lead does look attractive. The blonde, wavy hair with sharp eyes and eyes as pink as fuchsia. And you still can't remember the actor's name. You took out your phone as you start searching up the name of the actor when it suddenly changed, and instead of the blonde actor on the screen, a report comes instead with a banner below. Another missing persons case. Your heart dropped before turning off the TV. The incident back in the cinema replaying in your mind. You quickly turned off your television as you made your way to your kitchen, hoping to take mind of things. You open your fridge, feeling the cold air hitting your face as you rummage through. Taking a pitcher of orange juice, you place a glass in your cupboard as you pour the juice on to the last drop, taking a sip from it. You check the clock on the wall. 9:30 p.m. That late already, huh? You check your front door and windows, seeing everything locked up, except for the one window, before grabbing your glass and finishing the last drops of orange juice before heading back to your bedroom. Now dressed in your nightwear, you let out one last stretch, a yawn escaping your mouth. Getting in your bed sheets, you laid in comfort. Today was a lot to go through. A lot, you thought. Another yawn escaped your lips. You must be tired, you thought. Your eyes going half-lidded. Eventually, sleep took you over. The moon was high in the sky. The night is quiet, save for a few honks from the late-night cars. But all of that is not enough to wake the sleeping residents. At least not me. Because I'm pretty sure they drugged me. Still broken, huh? You should be careful, Pumpkin. Clad in black with a mask of the same color adorned his face, he slowly makes his way next to his sleeping figure. His reddish eyes, bright, filled with adoring love. He reached down and struck a finger against his beloved's cheek. Look at my sleeping sweetheart. Makes me wonder who supplies Hugo those sleeping pills. He lets out a low chuckle. He leans closer to Wave. Pulling down his mask, he leans forward, checking your face before continuing. He buries his face at the tip of her shoulders as he leaves a peck. He takes a deep inhale. He shakes as if he took a whiff of a dangerous addictive drug. His eyes bright as he examines each feature of his soulmate's face as he gives Digitalwave's cheek a kiss. You smell so good. Pardon me. He lifts her hand and watches it flops down on, deep in sleep, like Sleeping Beauty. He nibbles on her neck, earning him a soft whimper from the sleeping individual. He just chuckled. Quite ticklish, aren't you? He kept going. He kissed and lapped on the same spot, to the point a mark started to form. Our time today isn't enough. It's never enough. I want more of you. I want to be with you. Every walking day. His gaze went from hurt to desperate. his focus still on the figure sleeping before him. If only you know how much I crave your attention every day. It hurts. So please, let me. Tucking a loose strand from her face, he gives her a kiss on the forehead before landing another one on the corner of Digitalwave's lips. A shiver ran down his spine at the contact. And as much as he would like to keep a bit longer, his time is due. He backs away as he covered his face once more with his face mask. He walks towards the jar window, turning back one last time. Sorry about your window, Pumpkin. I'll be sure I'll make it up to you someday. He carefully opens the window again, and with that, he's gone. You really caused me some trouble today. So it is you, traitor. What? My gun? Here he goes, like, I'm going to do this. We would have thought. Our sweet doggy is biting their master's hand. Though, not gonna lie, we should have seen this coming. You talk too much. Wait. You haven't even fired a gun since ages ago. What makes you think that you won't huff? Ha. Crap. They're slowly figuring me out. I don't think I can make it for the next few days. Sonny, you've done enough for me, I think. This is the end of our deal. Wait, deal? So, to be continued. So now, yeah, I saved a lot. So, we did the movie theater. CG, so I'm gonna now I'll do the arcade. Yuka shrugged. Alright, go on your little impromptu date then. Besides, I don't want a third wheel either way. Date? You're not the one who decided we should skip class or do whatever we want. Yeah, and I want to watch a movie. Well, don't let me stop you two. Hugo shook his tongue at Soul. This made the male only roll his eyes. Well, we'll be heading out now. Let's just give you guys a call on where to meet. Sure. You and Hugo part ways. He gives you both a wave before heading in a different direction. Soul turns to you. Should we get going, Digiwave? Of course. The flashing neon lights of the arcade steer lights your way, the sound of each arcade machine reaching your ears. I've never been here before. Is this place new? Not really. It's hidden within the city. I see. Do you get out a lot, Soul? You seem to know places. I know places because I get my butt dragged by Hugo. Is that so? He laughed as Soul shrugged as he shook his head. He takes out a few coins from his pocket before handing it to you. They were tokens. So, which one are you gonna go for first? Well, you came prepared. As always. Come on. Soul holds his hand out as you accept it. He held it tight with a light squeeze as you and him roam around the arcade. You and Soul went to play multiple arcade games. Some you win, some he does. But you often get the feeling he lets you win for the sake of your winning. Come on, Soul. This is the 5th time I won. Ain't no way you're this bad. Maybe maybe you're just that good, digital wave. You flatter me. Just when you're about to insert another coin, however, you realize you ran out of tokens. Soul takes notice of this, of course, and gives out some of his to you. I'll go to the counter and grab a few more coins, a few more tokens. You don't mind staying here for a bit, right? Oh, how much should I pay you for this for the tokens? It's on me. Don't worry about it. Wait here. Giving you one last look, he hurriedly went to the counter. You look around the area. The ding sounds of the various machines filled the arcade. From the corner of your eye, you spot a claw machine. Maybe playing a few games wouldn't hurt. Going for the claw machine, you check out the contents inside: a cat flush, a super flush, any flush, and a horse plushie. Well, they all look so cute. Which one should I try to win? Let me think. Horse. You remember how Soul likes horses. Maybe you could try to win one for him. These are his tokens after all. It took out some of the tokens Soul gave you and insert one of the coins shots into the coin slot. The machine whirls to life as you take the joystick on your left hand while hovering the red button with your right. You are focused, eyeing the claw and its precision, trying to align it with the horse flesh. The claw takes hold of the flesh, and your eyes widen as you cross your fingers, hoping to catch it. But you were interrupted by a sudden smack of your butt. You jerk and turn around. What the? Well, what do we have here? You turn around and met with a tall figure, a cocky smirk on his face. He gets knocked on the face because he did that to a girl. He looks well off, like those typical spoiled rich kids you see him in movies. His hair is a bit tousled with his 2 men, and you assume he's bodyguards besides him. He rigs at tobacco, making you gag. You say nothing, but try to move away from his sight, but you were stopped by another tall figure. You're guessing. He's with this butthole. Now, where do you think you're going there, sweetheart? You alone? Yes, and I'm pretty much prefer to be alone. The man, however, did not listen. Why don't you come with me and I'll show you how these games are played? He raises his hand to reach your shoulders. Before he could touch you, however, you kick him between his legs. Like one does, he doubles over and clutched his lower engine. A groan escaped his lips. His goons were taken back and rushed to help him. To be fair, a goon would probably just sit there and laugh. To be fair. Now's my chance. Don't let her get away. Multiple heavy footsteps were coming after you as you ran. You turn every corner you can, trying to make them lose you. But they were 3 against 1 is not a good matchup. Anyone, please, help! Someone help me! He pleaded, but multiple sound effects and music from each machine within the arcade down GPs. You cursed under your breath as you focused on running. As you can all you could think about at the moment is to get out. You manage to get out of the arcade, but you still clearly hear the man and his goons on your trail. You look away and you find a few toilet stalls. You rush towards it and get in the stall, hurriedly opening it and locking it as soon as you can. The place stinks, but you don't give it another thought, as the beating of your heart rings for your ears. The tears fill up the corners of your eyes. You hear footsteps. Find her. You know, it's funny, both rats end up in the bathroom. The man's voice echoes. You try to think of something, and you thought of calling Soul. You quickly took out your phone. No signal. Are you for real right now? You can hear how aggressive they tore open each stall. They're creeped closer and closer to where you are. Anyone, please. Here you are. No, please. You've been a very bad girl. Don't worry, I'll make it up to you by doing me. You can do it and make it up to me by doing a favor. By kicking you in the shins again. Screw you and your favors. I've been kind to you, but it seems you want to do it the hard way. You forcefully grabbed the edge of your uniform. Your eyes went wide as your fingers went cold. You tried to grab a hold of his wrist as you tried to push him away. He's too strong. He forcefully lifts up your uniform, revealing your stomach to him. I'm gonna kick you in the butt. No. Let me go. Okay, so, tears. I'm just gonna... You close your eyes shut. Please, just end it quickly. What? Oh, wait, I didn't do that. Judging from the impact, the man's body was jerked away from you as he was thrown in the side. You hear flesh eating flesh. And another one. And another one bites the dust. That's enough, Soul. Not yet. That's enough. You broke his nose already. No. Soul. That's enough. Showave needs your help. At the mention of your name, the familiar reddish-orange eyes went wide, open before turning to you. Soul quickly went to your side, his eyes wide with shock before crouching down and giving you a hug, his shoulders shaking as he embraces you. He said nothing, however, too stunned to speak to what inspired you. The man now laid still on the ground, a pool of blood slipping out of him. The rest of his goons passed out in the random corner. They got beaten up by two people. You look up and meet with two familiar eyes of Hugo. But they weren't the kind ones you usually see on his face. Hugo's eyes twitch as he sighed, trying to hide his visible irritation, but failing. You look around at the mess Soul made before turning to check up on you. He said nothing, hands in his pocket while he looks down at you in Soul's embrace. It's getting late. We should head home. Hugo taps Soul's shoulder, making the tall male bury his face therein between your neck before eventually letting go. His eyes were bloodshot, his face red from either anger or worry. You aren't sure, but one thing's for sure is that the man before you cried. He cried for you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have left you. Soul. Thanks for saving me. He reached out to cup his cheek. He flinches at the touch. Tears that he was trying to hold back is now falling freely from his cheeks. He eventually relaxed as he closed his eyes and leaned on your hand as he held it. I don't know what I'll do if... It's okay. It's alright. Here. Beside you, Hugo is extending his hand for you to take. He knows his hand is the same horsefleshy you tried to win back in the crane game. You took Hugo's hand as he held you up, helped you get up. Soul stands as well, but backs away from you a few steps. Actually, wait. It's good we could actually walk home with him again. You should head home. It's quite late after all. Both of you and Soul don't say anything, but nod along. Hugo giving both of you a small smile, walking away. Soul lets out a firm hold of your hand, seemingly afraid to let you go. Hugo lets it out a sigh. I guess we can't get in the arcade anymore. Those guys might come back to teach us a lesson. If they ever come back, I gave them more than just a broken nose. You're pretty scary right now, Soul. Good. I like to keep it that way. Hugo shakes his head, rummaging through his pockets before handing Soul something. He didn't quite see what it was, but judging from the scowl on Soul's face, he doesn't like it. I told you these don't work anymore. It's because you aren't taking it, you fool. Now, take it tonight. Soul grumbles like a child, but who got scolded before taking whatever Hugo gave him and tucks it in his pockets. Anyway, your place is just around the corner. You should head back as soon as possible. I'll take Digital Wave home. Soul's eyes narrow. He went from holding your hand to wrapping his arm around yours in a possessive manner as he leaned closer and glared at Hugo. No, I can walk her home. Clearly you're not in a good condition to fight right now. Fight again. I could fight again. There was something in Hugo's eyes as he made your blood run cold. The usual happy-go-lucky expression on his face was gone. You take a look back at Soul, noticing how unfazed he seems, as if challenging Hugo. What Soul walked you home? Both of them look at you in surprise. Hugo seemed to disapprove as your choice, while Soul, whole demeanor shifted from shock to cocky as he slowly turned his head to his shorter friend. You heard her. Hugo, I can handle this. I can walk Digitawave home. Digitawave, trust me. I want you to trust me too. Hugo looks at his friend with wild disbelief, almost as if offended by what Soul said. He took notice of this. The way his fist tightened, causing his veins to bulge out from the force he exerted. Eventually, he gives up a sigh. Hugo turns to you. It's fine for Digital Wave. Then I can't force you. The short male didn't say anything afterwards. He just turned on his heel. Hugo walks away, and you and Soul stare at him until his figure becomes smaller, and the light post no longer illuminates the path he's walked on. Is he always like that? Ranging from the redness away from his eyes, he turns to you. Like what? Like really bossy, especially towards you? I thought he was happy-go-lucky type. Guess you can't judge a book by its cover. Soul didn't say anything. His gaze lingered on the now empty path where Hugo had headed. He takes your hand and wraps his fingers around yours with a smile on his face. He looks happy. What matters is that you're here with me right now. Shall we get going? Okay, so we are... Please excuse the place's condition right now. I didn't expect a visitor to come this evening. He said, as you bit your chuckle. Said with a bad chuckle. Rubbing the back of your head as you welcomed Soul inside your apartment. I don't mind. Oh, he's inside the apartment now. Soul eventually takes a step inside your apartment, but did not go any step further and remained by the door. Soul's figure was a bit stiff as he lingered by the entrance. Maybe you need some convincing that it's alright to come in? Taking hold of Soul's hand, he led him to the living room and made him sit on the couch. Upon taking his seat, Soul placed down the horseflesh you won for him on the table beside him. His whole demeanor, however, did not still remain rigid. You don't need to be stiff. Just make yourself at home. Sorry, I'm just not used to being in our people's spaces, much less their homes. Really? Not even Hugo's? Soul just shakes his head. You begin to ponder. However, your train of thought was cut short when Soul started flexing his knuckles. That's right. Stop what you're doing and wait here. I'll grab the medical kit. And don't dare strain your fist any further. Don't really have to do all that stitch wave. He tutted, placing your hand on your hips. My house, my rules. Plus, I did assist on treating your wounds. Soul didn't say anything, but just let his hands relax. He still looks stiff, but through your words, he loosens his shoulders just a tad bit. He hummed and run to your room, into your bathroom, connected to it, and took the first aid kit before returning to the living room. Once you returned, he took the empty space right beside Soul. Hands. You say that like I'm some sort of dog. Despite his remark, he did as you told and showed you his hands. Taking his hand on yours, your eyes frowned as the gash and a few blisters stored his once pale knuckles. Taking a disinfectant and a piece of cotton from the kit, you lightly dabbed the formula on the cotton. This might sting a bit. Soul didn't say anything. Taking it as a sign to proceed, he gently dabbed the cotton on the bruises on his knuckles, earning a few hisses here and there from him. He did the same to his other hand, but this time he was silent, seeming used to the stinging pain. After disinfecting the wound, he took out some gauze bandages and wrapped it around his knuckles. You were busy wrapping the bandages. They failed to notice how he kept looking at you while you were patching him up. You only realized that's when he finished wrapping his hands. He looked up, and your eyes meet with his reddish orange orbs. Orbs that remind you of summer daisies of a rare breed. But the word summer doesn't really quite fit him. Instead, he reminds you of the harsh and cold winds of fall. Despite his icy interior, he was showing you nothing but warmth, like a fuzzy scarf to shield you from the freezing autumn winds. He doesn't let go of your hands. He doesn't let go of his hands from yours yet. Kiss his knuckles. You have no idea what made you do it. Do what you did next, but he raises your hands in his and pressed your lips to his bandaged knuckles. He did not jerk away his hands but look of pure shock was displayed on his face. His face went red, while his eyes grew wide like saucers. Soul lets out a low and nervous cough, tilting his head to the side like a shy manner. I'm not a kid anymore, you know. That makes you feel better, right? He let out a chuckle. His silence was enough to be enough of a confirmation. You eventually let go of his hand, and he pouted when you did. You stood up from the couch, and gaze lingers on his sitting figure. Doing anything else, Soul? A cup of water, perhaps? No, there's no need. Oh, come on, Sonny. A brow waves from mid-curiosity as the similar nickname you uttered. Sonny. Yeah, Sonny. There's a light pause. The air is still. You're nervous. Felt nervous, staring to crawl on your skin. You rubbed the back of your neck. Sorry, I guess that was quite bold of me to casually give you a nickname all of a sudden. Well, you used a nickname. I didn't give him. No. It's just I'm used to hearing that from Hugo's mouth. Well, only from Hugo. How about calling me something else? You don't mind a nickname? If Hugo's going to give me one, why not? Give Soul a nickname. The last name you input will be the nickname used if you press enter. Well, he did tell me to do this. So, Ghostface. First one was a joke, playing Peter. Ghostface. I'm looking at my G Fuel Ghostface cup, so that's why. Yes, Ghostface. Quite fitting for someone like you, huh? And I kind of want to watch Scream too. You nudge and wink at him. Soul merely smiles and shakes his head. He looks up and at you and admire your face. Sure, Digital Wave. You can call me Ghostface, whatever you like. Now that's done. And the fact that he's technically a killer, so it makes sense. That they're technically, with a hand over his heart, he gives you a knowing smile, a gaze serious as if he was about to make a vow. Let me repay your kindness, Digital Wave. Yeah, hey, you don't have to, Digital Wave, Soul. It's the least I can do as your friend. No assist. I can make you a dinner tonight if you like. That won't be necessary. Before you could protest, however, you could feel your stomach rumble. The sound was loud enough to be heard, which earned a low chuckle from Soul. I can cook. No, not my watch, mister. Your hands need a rest. I'll do the cooking. Before Soul could retort or to assist on cooking, you pull out him from his seat and start pushing him towards the kitchen dining room. Is there anything you like and don't like? Nothing really. As long as it's from you. But really, I'm fine. You've done enough for me already, Digital Wave. I'm just doing this to return the favor. You shake your head no before forcing him back to his seat. Soul sighed and gave up, propping his eyeballs on the wooden table as he looked at your figure. Happy that he complied, he turned to stare at the kitchen sink. What are you gonna cook? You never had a guest before. Heck, even Crow has never entered your apartment, and you have no other friends to even call over to hang out. Are you really this lonely? Well, you were in the middle of fighting your own thoughts. Soul hummed the tune. You hear him drag his chair to stand up, and soon you find his tall figure now looming behind you. He held his hands behind his back and he inspected your cupboards. Seems like your kitchen's quite empty. Well, it's not completely empty. Reaching out towards the cupboard above you, he pulled out a box of curry powder and gave it to you. Oh, this could work. I'm looking forward to it. An idea struck you. Well, what if you help me make these cute those cute food are like the ones you art like the ones you make this afternoon. You mean the bento box I made for Hugo? I can. But does that mean I could cook in the work in the kitchen? Not a single finger. Sol merely pouted. He placed a box of curry on the counter as he tossed his arms and leaned on his back, his gaze still leaving your finger. All right, Pumpkin. Let's see what you got. I'll lead you as you go on. Using your phone, you searched up how to make simple curry, checking the list of ingredients that you're thankfully had on hand before preparing everything on the counter. Sol checks around and makes out a perfect hum. He begins telling you how to prepare ingredients. Thankfully, you had most of it lying around. You wash the potatoes, carrots, and proceed to peel the skin off one by one. Sol still remains right beside you, his arms now crossed as he observes. When you set aside the vegetables, however, he suddenly takes out a knife from your kitchen holder, along with your chopping board, then moves to chop the vegetables. You were about to protest, but stopped yourself when he gave you a side eye, a smirk on his face as he cut them neatly and in equal sizes. He was experienced, and he made it clear. Show off. After cutting them, he sets the chopped vegetables in a bowl, and he waits the rest for you. I could have handled that on my own, you know. Yeah, you can, but what if I'm stubborn like that? Well, at least this makes this work. At least this makes the work faster. He eventually finished peeling the carrots and took the knife from Sol, shooing him away from the taking a seat. Sol complied and went back to leaning on the counter. He looked at the perfectly cut potatoes and carrots. Did he make flower-shaped carrots? How did you do this? Do what? This is so cute. Do you want me to teach you? Wait, let me do it first. I want to see how to replicate it. Grabbing a piece of the sliced carrot, you tried to replicate the flower-shaped carrot Sol did. However, everything you managed to cut a piece of petal would fall off. Again and again and again. You placed the knife down, lifting your sleeves up and continued on. You were so focused on trying to cut a piece of carrot to fully realize that a large pair of bandaged hands were now on top of yours. Sol figure loomed behind you, his torso pressed close to your back as he leaned his face right next to yours. His breath fanned your cheek while you stand frozen. You can feel the heat slowly rising from your cheeks. Calm down. Let me help you. With his guidance, he leads you with utmost care. Don't cut too much. That's how you manage to accidentally cut off a petal. Do this instead. You couldn't focus. Your heart was beating too fast. The rumble his chest makes whenever he speaks echoes through you. You could feel his heartbeat as well. It was beating as fast like yours. You let him lead you like a puppet to its master. There, this looks better. You are too distracted by his overall appearance that you didn't realize how the once round carrot was now in the shape of a blossom. It makes you it only hits you once he stepped out, his hands around you gone, and he was off of your back. You look down at the masterpiece before you. Sigh, you make it so pretty. I think you can make them prettier. Just follow what I did. That's the problem. I wasn't paying attention. You weren't paying attention, were you not? You avoid his gaze. He lets out a chuckle. I could show you. I think that's alright. We're running out of carrots anyway. Let's just need to chop the rest of the potatoes and we'll be done pairing. I'm not touching it. Want me to help with the potatoes? Sit down, mister. While you were cooking, with Soul's aid and instruction, of course, the said man took the honor of making orange juice, claiming it was a waste of a risk. Since he kept insisting to help, you let him be. Soul sets the table while you turn off the stove. The curry's aroma fills the dining room. The curry was hot, and steam rose from the pot as you carried it by the handles with mittens on your hands. Then you set it on the table. Soul sets across the table the orange juice he made in a pitcher, now settled on the table, as well as two glass cups. You sat down on your seat as well. Thank you for the food. Thank you for the food. This smells so good. Without wasting time, you took a spoonful of warm curry and rice and blow the steam away from the then popping it in your mouth. I love it. You let out a joyful hum. Soul just chuckled as he ate his own portion of curry. You should write down the spices you made me add. I don't think they would taste this good. Just list them down once you're done eating. I'll list them down once you're done eating. Couldn't agree with that. Argue with that. Discard the dishes in the sink after dinner. You and Soul sit in the kitchen for a while, somehow finding yourself talking about food as you drank what was left of the orange juice. Soul still making himself comfortable on the dining table. I could send you a few of my favorite dishes if you want to try them. That would be great. I would like to learn some more from you if you give him the time. Of course, anything for you to wave. Soul smiles at you. You look back at what happened today, and how much he's been with you. From making you feel safe, to making you laugh, to actually protecting you. And now he's just casually helping you make dinner, even though you just bandaged his wound like any other normal person would do. Cooking with him, dying with him, it all feels so domesticated. Like you and him are. You took another swig of orange juice, chugging it down to the last drop, catching Soul by surprise. You feel your heart quicken, and the familiar warmth of your face heating up again. You yawn. Oh, excuse me. What time is it? It's 8:45 p.m. It's that late already? I've been taking too much of your time, Soul. You still need to go home. It's a school day. Tomorrow. You wrap your eyes and another yawn escapes your lips. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about too much, digital wave. I feel quite happy to let you in and treat. I feel quite happy to let me in and treat my wounds. Not to mention sharing dinner as well. Soul one to say something, but he stopped himself before he could utter the words in his mind. Instead, he leans in closer, his eyes half lidded as he looked at you expectantly. Why are there three of him? John, your head is getting dizzy. You seem tired, Pumpkin. No, I'm fine. Let me get you to the door. Your eyes felt heavy from the sun creeping drowsiness that wrapped around you. You rub your eyes, trying to shake off the heavy feeling. He had lost strength. Something slipped. The glass shattered on the floor. Beyond your faded vision, you caught Soul's smile, his hand pushing away the glass of orange juice that had never been touched. He looks at her figure, now passed out on the table before him. He turns to stare at the pitcher half filled with orange juice as he clutches the packet of pills in his pocket. The very same packet Hugo gave him before coming into the apartment. Taking the pitcher and his glass of orange juice, he drained it out and placed them in the sink before returning to Digital's side, not minding the shards of broken glass he's stepping on. He gently lifts Digital's hand, then drops it. Just like a motionless rag doll, she remains unconscious. A smirk makes its way to his face. He gently places his hands on her shoulders before leaning in close to her neck, taking a deep exhale at first. He shivers in delight. He gently wraps Digital's arm around her shoulders before carrying her in his arms like a groom to his spouse. Let's get you to bed, Pumpkin. He enters Digital's room, seemingly unfamiliar with the layout, as if he's been there multiple times. He carefully walks towards the bedroom and gently lays Digital down on her dovet. The corners of his lips churn upward, his eyes twitching. He then proceeds to lie down next to her sleeping figure, wrapping his arms around her abdomen and pulling her body closer to his, spooning her in the process. He pairs his face on her neck. Like before, Soul exhales Digital's scent like a addictive perfume. A shiver went down his spine, and he could feel his pants. My darling Digital. I feel so flattered that you trust me so much, despite just meeting me yesterday. Isn't this enough proof that you're meant to be mine? As if I was meant to be yours. Your soul resonates with mine. He makes himself comfortable, his arms still wrapped around, like his gaze on the apple of his eye. A wicked smile, still subtle on his face. He snuggles closer, hearing Digital's steady heartbeat through the veins of her neck. I love you so much, Digital. I want you to rise. I want your soul to rise. I know that it will take some time, but I'm getting impatient, sweetheart. When you rise, he asked under his breath, as if hoping for some answer from the sleeping woman caged within his arms. But only her soft and steady breathing filled his ears. He tightens his hold around her. His eyes still didn't flutter shut as his thoughts kept him up until midnight. Someday, one day, Digital, you learn the truth. To be continued. So we are going to check now on asked him to move away from your seat. Again, technically I did this the first time, but I realized I needed to actually finish the portion, so I needed to editing. I'm still feel sick. I have to edit for days because my voice is going like, nah, I need to finish half an hour later. So, technically it's a day, 2 days later, or, like, a day later. No, you refuse to accept this. This is your seat. Heck, you even made sure the people know it's yours by scribbling your name on the wooden chair. So the last part is a lie. You'd probably get in trouble if you were ever vandalized school property. And yes, there are videos getting put up before this, but yeah, I still have COVID when I'm making this video. By the time it's uploaded, probably not, or I'll be feeling a lot better, but I still tested positive today, so. But you've been in the library more than you could count. That you're pretty sure everyone even the regular students who come here know that this is your spot. Swallowing your pride, you slowly approach the seated guy. Once you made it to his side, however, he did not bother to acknowledge your presence, seemingly more focused on the book he's reading. You fake a cough. That seems to catch his attention. For he gives you a small glance right after, his nose still buried in his book. This seems to catch his attention. You're my seat. Can I have it back? He stares at you for a moment, then closes his book, swirling his body to face you, while placing an elbow on the mahogany table. His reddish orbs stare right back at your own. The confidence you had like 5 minutes ago vanishes in a thin air as his gaze sends shivers down your spine. The dark circles under his eyes add to his intimidating look. His raised brow before looking around under the table, on the seat, and even under his book before turning back to you. I don't see your name on it anymore. You could feel the veins in your forehead pop out. Oh, he wants to be a smart aleck? Huh. Should have put my name like I planned for jerks like him. You crossed your arms, not hiding your visible irritation, earning a small chuckle from the male who seemingly mused at your frustration. So cute. Say, if you really want your seat back, you need to convince me to move first. Tell you what, how about a cup of coffee? If you could give me a cup, maybe I'll consider moving. You bit your inner cheek. Now he wants you to be his little servant. Who does this guy think he is? Turning your head to the nearby coffee stand, right next to the exit, you observe some students enjoying their own coffee while reading or studying. Maybe you could grab his coffee and get this over with. So I have to force him to take a seat. Do I look like your old maid? How about just move and give me back your seat? You angrily voice out, growling more and more impatient with the male before you. However, he seems unbothered by your fret, his eyes half-lidded in boredom, before going back to reading his novel. Okay, this guy's getting on my nerves. If he doesn't want to leave, then I'm not letting him then. You huff in annoyance and move around behind him. He did not utter a single word and kept his nose on his light novel, though he couldn't deny the fact that he's a bit curious about what you are planning. What shocked him next was you pulling on the chair, causing him to gasp as he wobbles on the seat. Steadying himself, he was prepared to reprimand you for your actions, but you cut him off once more. What are you? By sitting yourself on top of his lap. And this is our Yandere, everyone, so I think he's actually happy about this. He swore to whoever God looked down on him right now to take him. The book in his hand is starting to slip off as all of his senses shut down, save for his eyes that remained focused on your back. His heartbeat quickens, cursing under his breath, while you continue with your work as he wasn't there. And you, oh sweet little you, slightly turned your head, giving a quick glance. Your lips turned upward, as if mocking him. Teasing him. It's driving him insane. I bet it is. You, however, went along with your task, ignoring him as if you weren't there, save for your ass littering on top of his lap. He looks around him, noticing a few glances from the passing students, some rolling their eyes and some moving away, finding a different seat. This guy's face went red. The surrounding students were definitely interpreting this the wrong way, which he should be happy about. He's a Yandere after all. For me, he returns his gaze back to you, who remain unbarred, sitting on his lap and seemingly not noticing the weird glances. He eventually relaxes, though still a bit hesitant to place his arm next to yours. With a free hand, he picks up the book he's had and reads through its contents once more. A minute or two passes, and you felt him sigh before closing his book. He seems to be having a hard time concentrating on his novel. Not your problem, though. Seldom we find, says solemn Don Deuce. He reads out, making you arch an eyebrow while trying to ignore him still as you remain focused on your papers. Half an idea in the profoundest sonnet. Though all the flimsy things we see at once. He's reading through your papers, more specifically on the poem you chose. As easy as though Naples bonnet. Enigma by Edgar Allan Poe, huh? Not a bad choice. Now, this got your attention. In all honesty, you just grabbed whatever book that you had thought felt heavy and went along with it. You were lucky enough that it was a singular book filled with stories and poems about this author named Edgar Allan Poe. I'll say by. About would be, it's like an autobiography. So I might want to write that down. So, yeah, it should be... So you definitely can know that I can't read. Even though I stutter and all this and accidentally read the wrong thing sometimes, I do know how to know. That doesn't sound right. By, it should be by. You went for the book's table of contents and the title caught your attention. Maybe it will have the same effect on your arrogant teacher, arrogant teacher, as it did you. But it seemed like this talking chair of yours is taking interest in it first. Not bearing to ignore him any longer, you speak up. It's the first thing I could find that looks interesting. Nothing much. As long as I got something to write my report. That's fair. But did you know this poem is also a puzzle? Yeah, it's called Enigma, so yes. I think Batman helped me on that part. I think that's what the Edward Enigma's name is actually based off. Is this poem? This piqued your curiosity. A puzzle? He nods. Then, with a finger, he points out the first line of the poem. Then on the second. Yes, a puzzle. This is one of the few works of his that I find charming. I find the Telltale Heart charming because I remember that one. And the one that Sherlock Holmes was slightly based off. It's a tar story. Looking at where his finger is playing, he tried to look at the puzzle he's speaking of, he actually made a detective novel before Sir Arthur Conan Doyle made Sherlock Holmes, and that is one of the basis of Sherlock Holmes. I think his name was Duplin, which is kind of funny because later on, Arsène Lupin is technically uses Sherlock Holmes, so it's like a little roundabout copyright. Look at where his finger's pointing. You try to look at the puzzle he was speaking of. Despite reading through the sonnet carefully, you couldn't find the puzzle he was talking about. He must be screwing with you. Try one last time you scan the words. Is it Sarah and Lewis? Oh yeah, because I already wrote this down. So, if you're playing it the first time, you're going to have to write it down, I believe. So, it is Sarah, write down Sarah and Lewis. You feel a pat on your head, make you tilt your neck to his direction as you try to face him. Good job. You got it right. A smile made its way to your face, pride swelling in your chest. You look back at your paper, on the poem specifically, a newfound sense of respect for the sonnet after knowing its hidden meaning. This just adds to more content to your paper, and made it help you get an even higher grade for it. Maybe hating the books isn't so bad. You lean back on the chair, nearly forgetting you're really on someone's lap, causing you to accidentally press your back to his chest, making him jerk on the seat. Oh, he's happy. He's definitely happy about this. This surprised you. You yelped and quickly stood up from your chair, trying to apologize to him. Your previous lax posture is now back to being stiff as a board. His face as bright red and resembling a tomato, leaning forward on a seat. His chin rests on the top of the table with a flustered expression on his face. Sorry, I forgot I was sitting on you. Oh my god, I was sitting on him. The sudden realization hits you, and you quickly went to bury your face in the ground. The student before you remained silent, his face still burning red, his eyes wide as plates. He quickly grabs his book and quickly stands up from the seat. Without sparing you any time to breathe, he walks out towards the exit with a bit of a limp on his steps. You feel like ripping your hair out. He did all that embarrassing crap for some guy who refused to give you your seat in the library. You could have done it and gone to a different spot without having to do all of that. Oh, it's all too late. Well, there's no point in dying on it. any more than necessary. Returning to your paper, you stacked them up, along with the books you borrowed. Glancing at the poem one last time, you couldn't help but smile. That made its way to your lips. At least he gave me some useful insight on my paper. I should thank him once I see him. I never got to know his name. You're so bad at interacting with people. Once you reached the hallway, the stranger from the library was already gone, but what surprised you was Crow's presence, followed by the same group of friends you saw this morning. Only that Brittany's uniform is covered with what seems to be a mix of ketchup, mustard, and a variety of oils, while Jess tries her best to wipe them off of her. What happened in the cafeteria? Did you wave? I was about to check on you. How are you feeling? I'm doing fine, although... You turn your gaze to the blonde behind you. Crow follows your line of sight and scratches his cheek. A drop of sweat rolls down his neck. Sensing your curiosity, he turns to Brittany. The blonde woman just waves him off, refusing to meet his eyes. Taking that as a sign to proceed, Crow explains. Things went a bit hectic in the cafeteria. A food fight broke out. And it was the best food fight ever. You should have seen the faces of that red-headed girl when you slammed ketchup on her uniform. Daryl jumped in the conversation, staring you and Crow in the sudden appearance. A annoyed expression made its way to Crow's face. You nearly got all of us in trouble, Daryl. I'm just glad we got ourselves out of there before things got worse. Yeah, our 9 shining armor, Mr. Ichabod, always to the rescue. Really making us your title as a school rep, huh? Daryl gives Crow a little nudge. Said man just rolls his eyes. But you got to admit, the look on Pinkie Pie was hilarious, right, Britt? Pinkie Pie is a party animal. I don't think you got that right, Daryl. You and Daryl turned to Brittany. Some of the sauces on her uniform gone, leaving nothing but a stain on it. A small smirk formed on her lips as she recalled the earlier events. Well, I can't deny it. It felt good having to fight back. Daryl gives a toothy smile at the blonde woman, but she returns with her own snarky smile. Crow only rolls his eyes, shaking his head at the two troublemakers. Contrary to his visible disagreement, you couldn't help but notice a small smile on his face as he made it. He's proud of them despite the trouble they caused. As you observe them, you know something amiss. Or rather, someone amiss. Jess seems to catch up on your confusion at the lack of numbers and steps up to explain. If you're looking for Geo, he said he was going somewhere else. I'm not quite sure where, though. I see. Not that I'm actively trying to look for that guy. He actually scares me. More than my Yandere. It should be scaring me, but I sat on his lap, so... And, tried to get in a fight for him, so... You recall the look he gave you right before you left the library. Just a memory sends shivers down your spine. You could start tugging on Crow's sleeve, wanting to sneak for answers about his other friend, but seeing how he's going along with the group with his genuine smile on his face, you bit your lip. You couldn't bear to ruin the mood. I should head to my next class. not sparing them any more of your time. You swiftly turn your heel and rush out of the scene. Ah, she's quite a runner, isn't she? Daryl perks up beside Crow's solemn face, while the two stare at your departing form. Crow sighs and looks down on the floor. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. The taller jock says nothing, but gives his friend a look of pity, rubbing Crow's back as he tries to think of anything to assure the man next to him. Daryl's eyes suddenly light up, a smile appearing on his lips. Take advantage of Crow's vulnerability. He swiftly snatches his friend's phone with his pocket, the wearer not even batting an eye at his phone that was taken. Instead, he questions him. The jock simply misses the phone, his tongue sticking out from the corner of his lips. What are you doing? Trying to fix your love life. You're welcome, by the way. What are you even talking about? Co's eyes grow wide as he blocks at the block of text Daryl showed him. Give that back. Daryl simply laughs at Crow's failed attempts at getting his number back. Daryl waves Crow a blue mobile phone. Crow's blue mobile phone in there. You've got no choice, Crow. I already sent the message. Ah, Daryl, you sneaky butthole. You call me your favorite ringman after this. The jock winks. I think you have competition because Yandere, a few feet away from the men, Brittany and Jess simply observe the two males. They turn to each other and shrug, wondering what Daryl could have done that got Crow frustrated like that. So now I'm gonna have to do the other ones fast, because I found out I just did not. So technically, I have to do this again. So wait, does that mean we got one? So yeah, we got one. Which I thought was gonna be something else, so I have to... First save. I'm only doing it fast now because I literally did an hour for the last one. So, say I'm not good at art. So we could get this cutscene. And then we load again. Go with great art. So let's see. And then we have one more, which... yeah, I kind of saved. So I do this. And now we have to do it where we call Soul over. Well, they're me. Like, I want to do it, but, when my last part, this is gonna be like 3 hours, so. I'll have to probably go with them. Still sit. Yes, actually. They, I can't afford. Take his hand. And we got our last one. So we get every single CG for him. I think we still have to work on Crow. And everyone else. And so far, only ones I got were, Hugo. So let's go main menu. So if you like my content, subscribe, like, help out, and comment down below. See you guys next time.